favor as your servants, whom you have been pleased to call to the performance of important trust in this republic. Let your blessing descend upon us here assembled, and grant that we treat and consider all matters that shall come and our deliberation in so just and faithful a manner as to promote your honor and glory, and to advance the peace, prosperity, and the welfare of our country and of those whose interest you have committed to our charge. Amen. So maybe before we do a quick introduction, I will kindly ask members from the committee to have a proposal and a seconder for the adoption of the agenda.
I propose,
Quickly,
Chair.
please. Committee members.
I propose.
Okay, propose.
Second.
Seconded. So, Minister and your team, as we wait members to be supplied with the copies, I think we can do the introduction. I'm sure we along the way. Your team will be able to have enough file. And it's a mixed both of committee members and members from the general members from the House who had several statements that has been put before you. So we are going just to introduce generally without specific order, no specific order. We can start from Korere.
Thank you, Chair. Sarah Korere, MP Laikipia North, and a member of this committee.
Naomi Wako, County MP Marsabit, a friend of this committee.
Good morning, Professor Guyo Jaldesa, Member of Parliament, Moele constituency, and a friend of the committee.
Thank you, Chair. Mumina Bonaya, County MP Isiolo, and a member of this committee. Sorry, not member, friend.
Abubakar Talib, nominated Member of Parliament and a friend of the committee.
Umi Harun, I am not a member of this committee, I'm a friend of this committee.
Thank you, Chair.
You can just be a member or a friend.
Mashua Idaka, member of Parliament for Kiambu Town, friend of this committee.
Thank you, Chair. Adumu Wurs, the member for Nyakach and a member of this committee, and the outgoing MP for Nyakach.
I'm Rosa Kinyi Buyu, member of Parliament Kisumu West constituency, and a member of this committee. Thank you.
Thank you, Chair. Protas Akuja, MP Loima, member of this committee. Thank you.
Thank you, Chair. Ambassador Francis Sigay, MP Sotik, committee member.
I'm Fred Kapondi, MP Mount Elgon, and member of the committee.
Thank you, Chair. I'm Liz Chelule, County MP Nakuru, and committee member.
The members from Samburu County who are joining us, you can introduce yourself.
Thank you, Chair. My name is Honorable Etipila Dominic Eli. I'm a member of Parliament for Samburu North constituency.
Thank you, Member and Chair and members. My name is Pauline Nenguris, County MP for Samburu, and I'm an interested member.
She's a friend of the committee. She has a statement. So,
good morning, Didoraso MP Saku, Vice Chairman.
Gabriel Tongoyo, MP for Narok West, and the Chair. Secretariat, quickly.
Good morning, I'm Ugoma John, Committee Clerk.
Good morning, my name is Edison Odhiambo from the Parliamentary Budget Office.
Delvin Onyancha, Research Officer. Kendi Morin, Intern.
Morning, members. My name is Mageka, Media Relations.
Good morning, Esther Mbada, Public Communications Officer.
Judith Kanyoko, Legal Counsel.
Salimat Man, Clerk Assistant.
Good morning, Benson Kimanzi, Sergeant at Arms.
We are done from our side. Waziri, you can introduce your team, whichever manner you want to.
Thank you very much, Chair. We will, as you can see, we have many members, but it is this front bench that is necessary and relevant for the committee. My name is KIPCHUMBA MURKOMEN, the CS for Interior National Administration.
Honorable Chair, honorable members, good morning. I'm Inspector General of Police, Douglas Kanja.
Good morning, Honorable Chair, honorable members. My name is Mr. Amin. I'm the DCI. Honorable Chair and honorable members, good morning. I'm Matthew Kuto, the Principal Assistant to the Inspector General.
Good morning, honorable Chair and honorable members. My name is Patrick Tito, Principal Deputy to the DIG Kenya Police Service.
Mheshimiwa mwenyekiti na waheshimiwa wanachama wa kikao hichi na kamati hichi, mimi naitwa Daktari Masud Mwinyi, msaidizi wa naibu wa Inspector Generali kitengo cha AP.
So, thank you so much. I assume the rest are members from the fourth estate, right? Karibuni. So quickly, Waziri, I know we are a little bit behind schedule. We were supposed to have started a little bit earlier, but we got your apology. We are seated here, and I want to refer you to two sets of letters, and of course you'll collapse into one. The first letter was of the 13th April, which was addressed to you, and in particular, you were called to address a few issues to include, and I can read for purposes of record, the escalation of organized criminal gangs across the urban and peri-urban areas, politically instigated violence as a result of the hired gangs to use to disrupt public order, allegation of police complicity or inaction, youth vulnerability and recruitment into the crime, public safety and protection measures put in place to secure public space, protect citizens, businesses, property, and even government installation, and the long-term national strategy to eliminate gang activities. And the other letter, of course, for some reasons, we got your apology, could not make on that time. Then there was another follow-up letter, which was on the 13th. Okay, that is the 13th, sorry. The other one is on the 23rd February. There's a lot of commonalities, maybe just a bit of extras. You also wanted you to address this House and the country at large on matters regarding the crime trend for the last few months, including hotspots and high-risk areas, specialized units in places to address mugging, robbery with violence, and the crime prevention measures, and the technology, surveillance, and digital crime, that is the status of CCTV coverage, and the data analytics, real-time crime mapping to inform patrol and responses, the crisis response, resilience, and emergency preparedness. And so I'm sure maybe there's much similarities on the same. Then thereafter, Waziri, there are several questions that has been statement that has been sought by members from the House from different parts of this country, and they're about 14 in number. And we'll agree with members because of maybe also time. We may, after this, the general question are being sought by the member, by the committee, will go to individual statements. Mostly, of course, we'll prioritize those members who have turned up for the meeting, and those also with a national interest, like the issue of the grave mass in Kericho, and any other discretion that you may think is appropriate, Bwana Waziri. I don't know whether we can do under 30, 40 minutes. Then
Tough.
Yeah. Yes.
Mr. Chair, thank you very much. I really don't have a lot of time for introduction, but thank you very much for inviting me to come to the committee. As I've said before, and I reiterate, this is a very important institution for us to be held into account, but also for us to address issues that the nation would like to be addressed. And even when we request for rescheduling of these meetings, for example, Mr. Chair, on Thursday I had to go and represent the President in the in Congo, Brazzaville, and so forth. It's just in emergency cases. But it's always my greatest pleasure and honor to be in Parliament, whether the plenary or the committee, because it gives me an opportunity to address these issues, but also to get the ideas of the members on how to make things also better. And accountability is always can only make us do a better job as a ministry. I will, because this is very bulk, it's huge, so time is of the essence. I will try my best to just go to the points. Then maybe under your leadership, we will know how best we will use the time we have to address as many questions as possible. Let me start with the letter dated 23rd of February, which was the initial request on the state of national security. Mr. Chair, the first part of the question asks for crime trend for the last 6 months, including hotspots and high-risk areas. And I suppose this document has been shared with the members because it will be difficult for me to read every figure. There are offences figures listed in the and the hotspots are all over the country. Over the last 6 months, that's between September 2025 to February 2026, when this question was sought, the national security situation in the country has remained generally stable. However, isolated security challenges persist, including primarily caused by banditry and cattle rustling in parts of North Rift and Upper Eastern regions, including Baringo, Turkana, Samburu, West Pokot, Laikipia, Isiolo, and Meru. Terrorism-related threats continue in parts of the northeastern and coastal regions, particularly Mandera, Wajir, Garissa, Lamu, parts of Tana River, mainly linked to the activities of Al-Shabaab militants. In fact, I need to say something about that. You know, Chair, the fact that our country is safe does not mean the enemy is not active. And so many Kenyans, once in a while, they hear a publicized story about a person who has been attacked, one like the case in Uluko or somewhere else. They think it has been quiet and then it has just happened. I'm sure the committee, of course the committee knows, and any person who is operating within the security sector, that this is a daily threat, this is a daily challenge, but yet the country is safe because men and women are putting their lives on the line, and because of the investment that we have put there, equipment that has been put there, and the improvement on technology, that's why we continue protecting our country. And therefore, when Kenyans hear cases of Al-Shabaab militants and so forth, it has never stopped for the last 15 years or so. It's just that we have continued to inhibit or to fight these threats daily. And let me repeat also that sometimes, even though it's not related to this question, a number of people keep asking why the budget for security has to be enhanced. Unfortunately, this is a sector where you will never know the danger until it happens. And you will not allow it to happen so that people can know the danger. So you must always work to preempt attacks to the country. So a continuous investment all over the world requires us to be ahead of the pack. And going forward, this nation, the next 10 years, and I'm sure the committee at some point, we can have a retreat and forecast our country in the near future. A greater investment will be needed in Kenya in terms of technology and in terms of equipment, including air equipment and so forth, drones, so that we can catch up with the challenges we face in the region. And the people of Kenya perhaps may need to just have a small window or at some point about the general threats and challenges we face regionally, not just national. And the more you get to know these things, the more you want to invest more in our security sector. In urban areas have also experienced a notable increase in gang-related activities, and I'll be coming back to the statement of this March in detail on this issue, with criminal groups terrorizing residents and road users, particularly in Nairobi, Nakuru, and parts of coastal region. Of particular concern are recently daylight robberies in Nairobi. That was in February. At least a lot has changed since February, involving motorbike gangs. The period has also witnessed a heightened political environment arising from rallies organized by opposition leaders and from different factions. These events are characterized by hired goons who disrupt rival gatherings, occasionally causing confrontation and property damage. In some cases, the police have faced criticism over the management of such events, including allegation of excessive force, bias, or delayed response. However, despite the blame, the police are committed to professionalism in maintaining law and order. As I said, I'll revisit that statement, combining it with this one. What is the crime trend? That's part one. In the period under review, a total of 48,545 cases were reported as compared to 49,325 cases the previous period, which was lesser cases than the year before, denoting a decrease of 780 cases, a decrease of 1.6%. On the crime analysis, during the period under review, offenses under the category of other offenses against persons, assault, creating disturbance and affray, were the highest, followed by other penal code offenses, which are the highest was 12,305 cases, followed by the other penal code offenses, 8,226, which is 17%. The first one was 25%. And then stealing accounted for the 16%, which is 7,829. Dangerous drugs were 3,851 cases, which are a representation of 7%. Offenses against morality were 7%. That's defilement and rape, defilement, and such other offenses, otherwise known as sexual offenses, properly so in Sexual Offences Act. 3,478. Offenses involving police officers, corruption, and traffic offenses were minimal. Decrease in crime rates was recorded in most categories of offenses except traffic offenses, as illustrated in the table. And you'll see the table there. Homicide cases were 1509, and the previous time it was, were decreased. Previously it was 1,509. Homicide cases now became, in that period, 1,413. Offenses against morality, 3,738, and it reduced to 3,478. Other offenses, robbery, breakaways, theft of stock, stealing, theft of by servant, vehicle, and other thefts, they are all listed there, and so forth, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Chair. If you look at there's a graph that is presented there. Then there are hotspots listed in the relevant pages. You will see it for yourself. Northeastern, places like Favi, Uluko, Elders, places like Ramu, Arabia, Lafay. In Nakuru, Kaptembwa is very prominent, Bondeni, Free Area, Nakuru CBD. Trans Nzoia is places like those Chepchoina, Falkland areas, Narok Town, Nangata, Barikoi. You remember the incidents we had there. Kitengela, Isinya in Kajiado, other places in Samburu like Maralal, Baragoi area, Kisumu Ndogo in Uasin Gishu, Munyaka, Huruma, Mwanzo, places in West Pokot, especially Lami Nyeusi with their border with Turkana, Viika, places like Luanda Town, Busia, and so forth. I'm just speaking some places, Machakos in Mlolongo and Joska at the river areas. In Kisumu, places like Manyata slums, Nyalenda slums, among others, became like the epicenter of, those are just generally hotspots for different kinds of crimes, and the table is provided. In terms of specialized units in place to address mugging and robbery with violence, crimes, and prevention measures, Mr. Chair, the service has several interventions in place to address incidents of mugging and robbery with violence. Excuse me. These include increased police presence in identified hotspot areas and deployment of standby response teams to attend to distress calls. The following areas are categorized. Following are categories of officers engaged in these efforts: foot and mobile patrol by general duty officers to enhance deterrence and to facilitate arrest of suspects undercover police teams deployed to conduct covert operations and intelligence-led interventions, Crime Research and Intelligence Bureau, which supports investigation including tracking of stolen electronic devices, Crime Scene Investigation Unit responsible for documentation, preservation and processing of crime scenes, forensic experts, Operation Action Team, and Operation Support Units. These are some of the units available for that work. Crime prevention measures, conducting regular mobile and foot patrols. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Conducting regular mobile and foot patrols to enhance police visibility, deployment of undercover officers, deployment of officers to lockups which enhance police presence and acts as deterrent to criminal activities, utilization of integrated command control, communication IC3 equipment, use of police radio communication system, use of toll-free reporting channels such as Vichua kwa DCI, working with Nyumba Kumi and community policing, targeting crackdown operations in known offenders and areas, promotion of self-regulation within the border sector to help identify, arrest, and criminal elements that have infiltrated the sector to commit offenses. In summary, Mr. Speaker, these strategies are applied from time to time, and it is also infused with redeployment of police officers. So sometimes in the past, we had a problem around this period in Nairobi, a lot of muggings and so forth, and the Inspector General of Police made changes in terms of human personnel and command officers, and from time to time when these changes are done, it has helped to reduce the incidence of crime. In Nairobi, we have made great progress from what we saw around that period in the streets of Nairobi. In Mombasa and coast region generally, Kwale, Mombasa, up to Kilifi, we had these Panga boys, and thanks to the good job of the regional police team led by Mr. Nuno, they have done a very good job in terms of crackdown. I had meetings with them when we had Jukwaa la Usalama, and great progress has been made in arresting and dealing with this situation. In the banditry-prone areas, Mr. Chair, we have made great progress through intelligence-led operations in the Kerio Valley regions. The places of Baringo, Elgeyo Marakwet, West Pokot are general calm, except at that point in time, the areas of Kainuk and the border between Turkana and West Pokot, where operations is ongoing now and the incidences have come down. We continue facing challenge in the Isiolo, Samburu, and Meru areas, that triangle there, because of generally bandits that come largely from the Samburu East to invade the places of, and combining with those from Isiolo to attack sites of Meru. An operation is ongoing, Mr. Chair, and a great progress has been made. Recovery is also of a lot of livestock, including livestock that was stolen over a year ago, were recovered recently because of this intelligence-led operation. The National Police Service is seized of this matter, and we are working on a multi-agency approach to make sure that that area is liberated. Unfortunately, it takes a lot of resources, Mr. Chair, to deal with that particular corner. Or that particular matter, intelligence-led operations, especially when you're dealing with illicit guns and ammunitions, we have to be ahead of the pack continuously to protect the people of Kenya. On technology surveillance and digital crime, the status of CCTV coverage, data analytics, real-time crime mapping to inform patrol and responses. Mr. Chair, the National Police Service is implementing a broader reforms, among them informed by the task force report. These reforms focus on strengthening operational capacity, enhancing accountability mechanisms, and embedding a culture of professionalism to ensure a more effective and trusted service. The areas of focus include the following: the National Police Service, first, operational modernization. The National Police Service Strategic Plan 2023-2027 was launched, and it explicitly provides modernization of police service aimed at improving police service, strengthening surveillance systems, upgrading forensic capabilities, and equipping the service with modern technology and resources. This initiative encompasses the acquisition of modern equipment, digitization of police operations, and procurement of operational vehicles, including protective and armored units to enhance mobility, officer safety, and overall operational efficiency. In fact, it further provides for the full digitization of records and systems, including introduction of digital occurrence book with the objective of streamlining workflow, improving data integrity, and aligning police operations with the internationally recognized standards. Number 2, the real-time mapping to inform patrols and responses. The National Police Service Integrated Command, Control, and Communication System, which incorporates CCTV surveillance cameras and automatic number plate recognition technology is earmarked for expansion to enhance coverage. The system is also undergoing structured upgrading and modernization aimed at strengthening surveillance capabilities and improving real-time monitoring and response to incidents. The coverage and operational status of public CCTV surveillance system in major urban centers. The National CCTV Integrated Command Control Communication System currently provides extensive surveillance coverage in Nairobi and Mombasa. The system comprises approximately 1,899 surveillance cameras and 281 ANPR cameras deployed across 664 sites nationwide, with Nairobi hosting the largest concentration. Coverage includes Nairobi CBD and key arteries such as Thika Superhighway, Mombasa Road, Jogoo Road, Ngong Road, and Wayaki Way, as well as a critical installation including airports, government buildings, and major intersections. While some of these cameras remain operational and critical to policing and investigations, the overall effectiveness of the system is constrained by damage, dependence on leased fiber infrastructure and inactive sites. The existing CCTV and ANPR system have been in operation for over 8 years. The natural expiry of their product life cycle, both hardware components such as server, storage, and network devices, and software, has reached the end of life and can no longer sustain reliable operations. A proposal to expand CCTV coverage to additional major towns is underway, and an implementation is going on. Let me just summarize this to say, Mr. Chair, the procurement process for upscaling IC3 to IC4, which is, apart from the command, control, and communication, it will include computation, is ongoing, and the process should be concluded in less than 1 month. Hopefully then the implementation begins, and before the end of this year, we should have made significant progress. The point is this, that we will have 7 command centers, including National Command Center here in Nairobi, and it will include Nairobi, Mombasa, Nyeri, Meru, Nakuru, Kisumu, Eldoret, to start with. The point is that we will have digital OB, CCTV cameras in all the police stations, ICT equipment in the police station. It will also have, Mr. Chair, the whole system of integration to ensure that we have proper analytics. And then it will have 11,000 radio communication radio equipment for the police officers. All this is being worked out to ensure that there is a greater surveillance, and particularly targeting these urban areas, especially when you talk about gangs. Gangs and goons are operating in the urban areas, and so proper surveillance and identification will be done in places, in hotspots of gangs like Nairobi, Kisumu, Nakuru, and other places across the country. That will really help us to be able to deal with this issue decisively. Mr.
Minister,
Chair,
maybe you can, there's the 7, you say 7 command centers?
Seven command centers. That is Nairobi, Mombasa, Nyeri, Meru, Nakuru, Eldoret, and Kisumu, plus now a national command center, which will be integrated. And then slowly we move. We go to Kisii town, we go to other towns. As they grow, we focus on the concentrated urban areas. You go to Nanyuki, you go to Isiolo, you progress until you cover as many places as possible. The plan is that you phase out progressively onboarding the areas of interest. And then, as you know, The NTSA is operationalizing or implementing instant finding system across the highways in the country, and that program also is an advanced stage. Of course, there were court processes, NTSA. Then there is a ITS program that is happening in Nairobi and Mombasa. After we have done this part and the ITS center is established and you have the instant finding system, all this should be interoperable. Then it will enhance the level of surveillance in terms of technology as a country. Crisis response, resilience, and emergency preparedness. The National Police Service has put in place measures to strengthen crisis response, enhance resilience, and improve preparedness in response to emergencies and disasters. They include deployment of specialized rapid units, including quick response unit, which standby team stationed at sub-county headquarters to facilitate immediate response to emergencies, establishment of national disaster management units to coordinate with the National Disaster Operational Center and manage disaster in emergency situations. Utilization of water cannons, trucks as supplementary support during emergencies, including assisting in fire suppression in areas like Nairobi County where necessary. Integration of disaster management training into police training program to strengthen officers' preparedness and response capabilities. Deployment of traffic officers to regulate and facilitate traffic flow during emergencies in order to allow rapid access for response teams. Securing and preservation of incident scenes to prevent interference or tampering by members of the public. Strengthening coordination mechanism with county government to support emergency response in cases of fires and other disasters. That is the statement as it was in February, and it's now supplemented by the April statement that focusing on gangs, which Mr. Chair will quickly also run through it. I don't know how much time I still have, but I'll try my best to run through this. Chair, I thank you for, again, this opportunity. Let me say that number one question was escalation of organized gangs in urban and peri-urban areas. The country has witnessed a steady and concerning escalation in organized gang activity, particularly in urban areas, and increasingly in peri-urban and rural areas. These groups have evolved from loosely organized street formations into sophisticated and adaptive criminal enterprises. In many cases, they operate as decentralized networks, making them more difficult to detect and dismantle. Current national assessment indicates that there are over 100 organized gangs across the country, with significant concentration in the cities such as Nairobi, Mombasa, Kisumu, and a growing presence in emerging cities. These gangs are embedded in broader criminal ecosystem involving drug trafficking, illicit alcohol, land disputes, extortion, and other serious offenses. Maybe when I talk about land disputes, Mr. Chair, there is a more serious issue actually which is emerging when it comes to gangs and land. Gangs and land. In places like Machakos, Mavoko, Kitale, Nakuru, places of Vihiga, Kakamega, and I am speaking this from my experience through Jukwaa la Usalama, where land thieves and land grabbers work together with gangs, and this is very notorious in Nairobi. They go and hire gangs like Gaza and these other gangs that have been really persistent for many years. And then they bring them to somebody's land. And then they occupy that land and help them to force the person to be out of their land. Despite the court order that you have, now they even hire now squatters. These people, after that, they hire squatters put there. The Inspector General of Police will have a court order from the owner of the land that says you need to evict people from that land. And so when you want to do the eviction, these same people work with political leaders to now say that police officers are hurting squatters. This government is heartless, Mr. Speaker, but it's basically hired squatters, starting with goons. But it's even worse where the person will occupy your land, then run to court to get a court order that says there is an impending eviction of squatters from this land. and the court should preserve the status quo. Then the courts will give an order that no eviction should be done by IG or anybody. Status quo must be maintained. The criminals are occupying an individual's land under a court order, and it is in perpetuity. In some cases, 5 years, 10 years, sometimes until the person dies, and they actually target all the people in the cities and other places. You have had cases where gangs go kill all the women in places like Kisii, and they tell you that they were killing witches, but there is no witches there. It's a land grabbing ring, basically to kill all the people who own the land, so that their family members or extended family members can occupy the land, because they have organized with criminals to do those things. So when I say that these people have a lot in Kitale, in the Matisi, where we are doing a massive operation last week, the National Police did a massive operation. The cry from the people of Kitale and its environment, you know, the prime land of Kitale. So the reason why you have too many squatter problems in Kitale and you are unable to guarantee individuals their land is because people go and hire goons and gangs, and then now they hire the squatters to go to the land, and the gangs are there to protect the land and then sell to people and so forth. This is a pattern that must be confronted, but not by the police alone. Because what happens quickly, there are leaders who are on standby to organize maandamano against any evictions. Then there are magistrates and judges who are on standby to give a court order. And they don't need to do much. They'll just say, as the case is progressing, the status quo be maintained. And status quo, your land is already occupied. So the status quo is such that you will not be able to access your land. And then the case now drags on for years and years and years. So when we say gangs and goons are a threat to national security, it's because this is a thing that permeates the society, and it is being perpetuated by either elected leaders or judges or, you know, people who are occupying highest offices to maintain these systems in place for political reasons or for economic benefits or land grabbing and so forth. The activities not only threaten public safety but also undermine governance structure and erode public trust in institutions. Part 2 was political instigated violence and use of hired goons. Mr. Chair, the government acknowledges with concern the increasing trends of politically instigated violence involving the use of organized gangs and goons. Evidence showed that these groups are often mobilized as on-demand actors during political sensitive periods where they are used to intimidate, disrupt public order, and interfere with lawful civil processes. This concern is not theoretical. It's already manifested in recent incidents across the country. In Trans Nzoia County, for example, a major security operation conducted early this month led to the arrest of 170 suspects, hired gang members, following the disruption of a youth voter registration exercise in Kitale town. Authorities recovered weapons and communication devices, and some of these arrested were identified as repeat offenders and individuals linked to organized criminal networks, and who are often released on bail with very flimsy, using very, very easy terms, 2,000, 5,000, and quickly, Mr. Chair, I will say, that before I finish this statement, let me say this. Every time these guys are arrested and taken to court, the same political leaders who are in public saying that government is doing nothing about gangs are the same ones who will say youths are being targeted. The same. And I saw even this weekend, the same. When we went for the operation in Kitale, the same leaders who are saying government is doing nothing on gangs, or police is doing nothing to deal with gangs who are disrupting public rallies, are the same ones who are saying innocent youth have been arrested. And of course, they are bailing out those people and so forth. Number 2, Mr. Chair, from my Jukwaa la Usalama, and you will read the report, the Jukwaa la Usalama report, interaction all over the country. Nearly, in the areas that we have serious gangs, nearly all the political leaders, Mr. Speaker, Mr. Chairman, have at least a form of goons. They are disguised as bouncers. They are always supporting and escorting politicians to functions. And Mr. Speaker, I don't need to mention names, but even if I put my eyes now to look like this, I can almost say something. And I just want to say, Mr. Chair, without fear of contradiction, in counties,
Chair.
In counties,
Chair.
for example.
Point of order.
What is it,
Is a
Korere?
cabinet secretary casting aspersion on us?
I'm not casting aspersion. I'm saying the reality.
Chair,
Let me give
even
you
when we look on that side, we can also see faces on that side.
Mr. Chair,
let's allow the minister continue uninterrupted.
For
We'll have our
example,
moment, yes.
For example, Mr. Chair, there are departments. There are, in a number of counties, they have departments and a chief officer in charge of goods. Yeah? And they are the ones who will now, before the governor goes to the rallies, is the one who mobilizes people, including those governors who pride themselves in public as human rights defenders. We know them. You know, they are in rallies talking to, lecturing us. But as out of reality, they can't go anywhere without paying goons, and they have a chief officer who finances the goons, and then they go together to the meeting and cause chaos in public functions. This thing was very prevalent in parts of Western Kenya. And when I say Western Kenya, is you start from somewhere in Nakuru as you go that way. But more prevalent in counties of Kisii, Kisumu, Homa Bay, Siaya. Siaya is even terrible. Kakamega, you go to Busia, you go to Kitale, you come to now Nakuru has become a part of the place, Nairobi of course, and then Machakos. You know, it's even a Machakos where the complaint was that you cannot even ask a question now, a politician. You can't even ask a county government a question. And you are a young person, goons will clobber you. And then now, slowly, it is going to other parts of the country, moving to other parts of the country. Mombasa used to be bad, but nowadays it's a bit better. But, Mr. Speaker, this is, we must face ourselves as leaders, face to face. Let's not lie to each other, addressing cameras, and then behind the scenes you are organizing criminals. So anyway, further updates from the ongoing operations indicate that over 200 individuals have since been arrested and processed in connection with organized violence and intimidation activities in the same region, underscoring the scale of coordination and such politically linked gang mobilization. Mr. Chairperson, this incident demonstrates a troubling pattern where criminal gangs are being purposed as tools of political disruption. This is not only undermines democratic process, but also entrenches culture of impunity, weakens governance structures, and erodes public confidence in rule of law. Mr. Chair, last, let me say as an example, now when we hear public protests, when the IG and the security team hear that there will be a public protest, like it happened in 2024, 2025, it's no longer a civilized protest, Mr. Chair. It's actually a mobilization of gangs and also mobilization of thieves and robbers. The cases that we saw in Nyandarua, Kiambu and Kikuyu areas, Muranga, Nyandarua, Kirinyaga, Meru, the pattern now in this Nairobi and its environment counties, and then Kitengela, and Nairobi and Machakos. This area, Nairobi metropolitan area, and the counties in the central region of the country are now becoming an epicenter of protests that are organized with gangs, with criminals, and with robbers. So that when you hear a protest will happen, you know supermarkets are being targeted, shops are being targeted, security installations are being targeted. It has absolutely nothing to do with exercising political rights. And this is attributed directly to political activities of leaders. Allegations of police complicity and inaction, and I would hear my friend, the MP of Kisumu, saying that even if she looks this side, she was also worried about gangs on this side. And there has been an accusation that
what is it?
There is police complicity. There is police complicity and inaction. Mr. Chair, the ministry takes seriously all allegations relating police complicity or inaction in dealing with criminal gangs.
Was it maybe before you go into the issue of the police
It is one question. I'm just finishing. It's a continuum.
Just on the issue of the gangs,
yes.
I see, of course, a long list. Of course, I think these are the ones that have been arrested by the IG.
Yeah.
Do you already, as the ministry, have already all these criminal gangs that have been identified, a list of them or a number in given regions in the country?
I think in my previous appearance in the committee, I provided a list of 42, was it 42? Oh, what was that, 100 and something gangs across the country. Gangs, not goons. Goons now are in thousands. But gangs that have been followed over a period of time, like MRC, Mungiki, Gaza, Angola Msumbiji, Chingororo, 42 Brothers, all these kind of characters across the country. We had provided a list before, but we can still send to the committee. And the police have been managing this issue over a long period of time. And but the problem is that when they are incentivized now by the same leaders who want it to be sorted, it's always like, like a passive volcano. So when it erupts, it is always instigated by political activities or economic activities that then make them erupt. And sometimes it is done in the name of protecting community. So you say, yeah, the community is under attack. We need to have young people who stand politically with us and, so forth. And then, slowly, as you know, for those of us who come from pastoralist areas, there are also communities that incentivize their young men to raid from other communities. So just as it happens in pastoral areas in that manner, in these other areas, there are also gangs that are incentivized politically, and they are radicalized in the name of to protect the political status of the community. And unfortunately, in the end, as they become stronger and bigger monsters, they do not go far. They attack the same community where purported protection was supposed to be. So the inaction of the police in relation to gangs, this is basically in relation to gangs. It's acknowledged that in some instances, operational challenges including corruption and information leakages have compromised the effectiveness of enforcement efforts. To address these concerns, measures have been put in place to strengthen internal accountability mechanism with the National Police Service and enhance oversight through multi-agency collaboration and independent review processes. Officers found to be involved in misconduct are subjected to disciplinary and legal action in accordance with the law. At the same time, security agencies continue to undertake extensive operational targeting criminal networks. Recent efforts have resulted in the arrest and prosecution of hundreds of suspects and the seizure of assets linked to criminal activities. These actions demonstrate the government's commitment to enforcing the law while simultaneously improving institutional integrity. Number 4 is youth vulnerability and recruitment in criminal gangs. Honorable members, youth vulnerability remains one of the most significant and persistent drivers of gang proliferation in our country. A large segment of young people, particularly those residing in informal settlements and underserved rural and peri-urban areas, face a convergence of socioeconomic challenges that make them highly susceptible to recruitment into criminal networks. These challenges include high unemployment and underemployment, limited access to quality education and skills, development opportunities, exposure to drug and substance abuse, and weak social support system. In such environments, gangs exploit feelings of frustration, marginalization, and lack of opportunity by presenting themselves as alternative structures that offer income, protection, identity, and a sense of belonging. Over time, this creates pipeline through which vulnerable youth are systematically absorbed into organized criminal activity, perpetuating cycles of violence, crime, and economic exclusion. Measures put in place to secure public space and protect people and their businesses. The government has implemented following sets of measures to secure public safe spaces and safeguard citizens and businesses from gang-related threats. These measures combine enforcement, intelligence, and community-based approaches. 1, deployment of specialized and rapid response and tactical units in high-risk areas. Specialized anti-gang teams have been strategically positioned in identified hotspots to ensure swift response to incidents, sustained patrols, and disruption of gang activities before they escalate into large-scale insecurity. 2, use of technology in public safety management, including expansion of CCTV surveillance, as I already explained earlier, Mr. Chair. 3, securing critical public infrastructure and economic zones, including markets, transport hubs, central business district, and industrial areas. Increased police visibility, regular patrols, and coordinated operation have been implemented to assure traders, investors, and the general public, thereby protecting economic activity from disruption. Scaling up public reporting mechanism and citizen engagement platforms, including anonymous tip lines and community liaison structures, to encourage the public to share information without fear of reprisal. These are significantly improved intelligence gathering at the grassroots level. The long-term national strategy to eliminate gang activities, that was the second last part of the question, and not the last part actually. The government recognized that the elimination of gang activity requires a long-term, multidimensional strategy that addresses both symptoms and root causes. Enforcement alone is not sufficient without complementary socioeconomic and governance interventions. The efforts are underway to strengthen the legal and policy framework governing organized crime, including provisions that enhance penalties and facilitate the seizure of assets derived from criminal activities. At the same time, economic empowerment initiatives are being prioritized to create opportunities for young people, particularly in high-risk areas, thereby reducing incentives for joining gangs. Places like Nairobi, Mr. Chair, a lot of work is being done using climate works and other economic activities, and quick cash kind of assignments, short-term assignments that are given to these young people, and then we encourage them to save. And a lot of this, especially Climate Works Plan, has helped deal with crime, reduce crime rate in slum areas within Nairobi City. And a lot of this needs to be done across the country. The government also the other day was doing the Nyota program and many other programs that are intended to do empowerment. I've seen also elected leaders organizing economic empowerment programs for young people for alternative living. The government is also focusing on expanding rehabilitation and reintegration programs with plans to establish accessible facilities across counties to support individuals seeking to exit criminal networks. Investment in intelligence and technology are being scaled up to ensure that security agencies remain capable of addressing increasingly sophisticated criminal operations. Governance reforms aimed at addressing political interference and enhancing accountability are being implemented alongside efforts to strengthen community-based security structures, such as Nyumba Kumi. These measures are designed to ensure that the communities play an active role in preventing and responding to gang activity. In conclusion, organized criminal gangs present a complex and evolving challenge that requires sustained, coordinated, and comprehensive action. The government remains committed to restoring and maintaining law and order, protecting citizens and businesses, addressing underlying drivers of crime, and strengthening the institution responsible for security and justice. We will continue to work closely with Parliament and other stakeholders to ensure that our strategies are effective, responsive, and aligned with the needs of the Kenyan people. I thank you, Mr. Chair, and stand ready to respond to any further questions. Thank you.
It's very low. I think you have really attempted to respond to the question that are being asked. And maybe we are going to take like 15 or so minutes to respond to the question before we take the individual members' statements. But before then, we have got 3 or so members who have joined us. Maybe they can just go on record quickly. And I'm sure those are the members with the statements.
Yes,
Nyenze?
my name is Edith Nyenze, Member of Parliament, Kitui West. And I have a statement. Thank you.
Yes, my name is Kakuta Maimai, Member of Parliament, Kajiado East Constituency.
My name is... with a statement. Is a friend of the committee.
Yes.
My name is Oku Kaunya, a Member of Parliament for Teso North and a member of this committee.
Chair, my name is Kili Kalido, MP Gembe Central, and a friend of the committee. I have a statement.
But your statement has just come now, although I had also shared with the Minister and the IG the issue to do with the Meru, some raids on the issue of the borders. I don't know. So I don't know whether the response may be ready. It will be the discretion of the minister to respond to. However, we will furnish with the same. So let's respond to. Oh, Karoli is there.
Thank you very much, Honorable Chair. My name is Karoli Omondi, a Member of Parliament for Suba South, and a friend of the committee with some specific questions to the Minister. Thank you.
Kapondi, you want to ask a question? So we are going to take Minister, maybe, because I don't, from the look of things, maybe you have really tried to address the questions. Maybe we are going to take maximum 3 or 4, then you respond all of them together, then we move to the issue of statements. So we are going to go to Sarah Korere.
That was the first one.
Okay, Sawa. Sarah Korere can accommodate all of you ladies first, then Kapondi. Okay, then Kaunya, then our sister.
Thank you, Chair. Chair, because at some stage I'll have to seek your indulgence because I have to leave for the House Business Committee, which will be starting in the next few minutes. But Chair, having listened to the Minister, I have to acknowledge that the work being done by the multi-agency team in Laikipia and Laikipia North is quite impressive. But again, Chair, there is one impending roadblock, and it is the security roads. And I want to plead with the Minister, because even as you do that operation, actually we've had, at least we've slept for the last few minutes, for the last few months. But again, I still have a strong feeling that Mugogodo Forest is still heavily inhabited by bad people because of the terrain, which does not allow the multi-agency team to get deep into the forest. And even the cows, I can see my friends from Meru, and there's still a lot of stolen livestock, both from Laikipia and Meru, which is being held by those criminals in Mugogodo Forest. So my humble appeal to the Minister, we have talked about security roads, and this is the right time when those multi-agency people are on the ground to do the security roads. So please, Bwana Murkomen, let's fast track that, because the moment the teams leave Mugogodo Forest, we'll be sitting on a time bomb, because these guys will come heavily on us to revenge for the small things that you have done to them, and the community will be the greatest sufferers.
Yeah, Chair, having listened to the Minister, it is very clear that they have all the solutions. What is lacking is only implementation. And while we talk about enhancing the budget so that we can sort out the mess, but there are issues that may not require budget. For instance, you know those ones who are funding the goons, the politicians, the activists, because there is no doubt, yes, we are going to an election year, and these are the major culprits. Without flagging out their names is perpetuating the problem. Because somebody would say, yes, I'm doing all this, and nobody knows that I'm doing it. So, Waziri, unless you become bold enough, and the IG and the DCI, so that these people are publicly shamed in public, that they are known, they are the ones who are doing all these things, will not go anywhere. Because that one doesn't require budget, but you to come out very boldly. Secondly, there is a problem, as you have acknowledged, the issue of the criminal justice system. We have a major problem. You find that if the DCI, for instance, does a crackdown on the ground, some criminals would run to some offices in Nairobi. I have very practical cases which I have previously shared with the IG. They will run to Nairobi, and Nairobi will give contradictory directives sabotaging what has happened on the ground. Meaning, some officers in Nairobi could be complicit with criminals on the ground. Because they are exposed on the ground, they come to Nairobi for cover, and then it is frustrated. Justice is frustrated. It cannot be realized on the ground. So unless we have the DCI, we have the ODPP, and we have the courts working together, we'll be doing serious blame games. And these offices, apart from politicians, because you have mentioned politicians, which I agree, yes, they are culpable, but the offices which are also culpable are the offices of the security people in Nairobi and the offices of the ODPP, because they are perpetuating crime and they are laying the foundation for what could end up messing the security situation on the ground. So Waziri, you need to refocus on that, because otherwise blame game will not assist us.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think you have made your point, and I'm sure it's more generally of an assessment and your analysis. I didn't see much of a question, maybe. But nevertheless, we have Mumina, Bonaya, then lastly Kapondi, then we allow the minute. Okay.
Kapondi again.
Then you respond. And let's try. We have got 15 minutes in between before we go to the statements.
Thank you. Thank you, Chair. Chair, I want to thank the CS.
Ask because considering our number, and we still have the other issue of responding to the statements, statements rather, let's be precise to the point. If it is a comment, fine. Actually, I would rather ask just questions, not comments, not, so that we can accommodate the rest of us.
So I have a question, Chair, but I want to thank the CS for the presence we've had in our county in terms of his visits to address issues that are coming up there when it comes to banditry and cattle rustling. And without looking like I want to conflict his report in terms of making progress, there's an issue, CS, I want to understand. While we have operation going on actively, we still get attacks, and banditry and cattle rustling are still happening. What do you make of that? Does it mean the cattle rustlers are not scared of the machinery and the government, especially where you've already declared operation in an area? Thank you.
That is Isiolo. Yeah, and Waziri, looking into your analysis, the issue of Isiolo, the issue of the criminal gangs is not really clearly stated, and I'm sure it's a big, big problem, the drug, the criminal gangs. The Speaker, I was told, just to be on record, recently the Speaker of Senate went to Isiolo for fundraise with a few members. I'm sure you have the information. They were almost, they almost failed to access the airport for almost 1 hour. And the police were ready to fight with the gangs. So that is how the situation is bad. So
thank you, Chair. Chair, my question is on the issue of criminal gangs and the goons, particularly the political goons. Waziri, you've explained very well the problem where it is. I'm asking, why are you not able to deal with it? Is it financial? This committee could step in. Is it political? These are the political leaders. I'm saying that because I will give you an example, Waziri. In your last address to Parliament, you recall a member making wild allegations about a boundary. of Changara. That Changara division belongs to his constituency. The member for Sirisha raised that issue, and the speaker did direct and asked you to be able to clarify. Indeed, the member, instead of waiting to get your clarification, goes ahead to start hovering around another constituency, Teso North. And you are aware, Waziri, I did come to your office. I wanted to follow the law. Now, delay to act on this brings a gap. And the gap is, Waziri, where these formal institutions fail to act, definitely informal institutions come in, and particularly on Gunism, where maybe a political leader feels insecure in an area. And I'm sure our chair, who is the incoming governor of Narok,
your question upon the
is aware.
Yeah.
When he's threatened, he will want to come with what we call, you rightly called, these are people who will protect. But really, this Gunism has to stop, and we urge you to stop. But we want to ask you, if it is financial, this committee can provide you funds. And if it is non-financial, and I agree with Honorable Kapondi, that there are some things you only need to make a decision and act. Even within our service, National Police Service are trying their best. But I think you have the power.
Okay, you have made your point. I think it's still not much of a question. I don't know. Umi, please, I will urge you, because you all know, everybody wants to speak here. We have not even gone to phase 2. Go to the point, to the question. If it is a comment, we can press it maybe for another time. So Umi, then Karoli, then we will respond when Waziri.
Thank you, Chair. Thank you, Chair. My question would be with regards to the report on hotspot in high-risk areas. Dadaab, Lugo, Fafi has been highlighted. And I think maybe, Waziri, you need to realize that this is also a transport issue, because once you are able to tarmac the roads in these areas, IEDs cannot be planted. So roads in these areas is no longer a luxury. It's also a security issue, because it creates a ripple effect. In Hulugo, a teacher was shot inside his home. What happened after that? And until today, we don't have teachers in Hulugo. It's a security issue, but it's also the transport access, because security cannot access these roads without the risk of our officers being blown up. Then we are having families in the office, in the police lineup also losing their loved ones. So it's a ripple effect situation where one thing leads to another. The community suffers lack of education, lack of teachers. On the other hand, the police look at the community as a threat, because there's a mistrust between the two. So I would want you to capture that in this report and see how we can be able to address it. And the second issue is that gangs are also in Garissa. The report did not capture that. Waziri, when you're in Garissa, you got that report directly from the community. I remember the youth had raised that mothers are unable to go to the market because of border gangs. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Karoli.
Thank you very much.
And straight to the question.
Thank you, precisely.
Council.
Very, very well, sir. Honorable Minister, could you please explain to us why or whether you have asked for investigations about the group that on the 21st of February 2026 surrounded Kisumu Airport with crude weapons at the roundabout, an international airport, and a highway that connects two countries, and stayed there for several hours. I personally was able to get through in a construction truck, and I saw them with my own eyes. Why, whether you've conducted investigations, who are these people, what was their aim, what was the purpose, and what has been the outcome of those investigations. Secondly, on 8th April 2026, Senator Honorable Geoffrey Osorsi was attacked in Kisumu by about 17 goons. 3 of them have since presented themselves to the police, not arrested, presented themselves. I believe there's a sufficient technology to identify the 17 who were captured on CCTV cameras. Why have they not been arrested up to now? And finally, on 26th April 2026, there's going to be a rally in Kisumu. Could you give us, as Linda Mwananchi, the assurance that the state will provide sufficient security and not be part of the previous disorder that we have seen in our rallies?
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. But on Ososi, I think we had the response. And even Karoli, you contributed so much on the same. So maybe just follow up to the same, but we got a response. But as you respond, Waziri, just want to add one thing. As we are continuing on this place right now, there is some kind of unrest in town regarding the protest on the fuel prices. Maybe you can also give the country a little bit update on the country's security situation.
Maybe that's part of the reason why you should let us also go back to work.
Trying to read.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Chair, maybe I could say something before Waziri comments.
Let me finish and then.
Finish this one.
Because
the speaker had already made a ruling
there are some issues which have been raised.
Later.
Like when you expect the minister to be the investigator, I don't think that is within his mandate.
You will have your time, Aduma, please.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
The chair already.
Chair, first on security roads, let me combine the question by Honorable Korere and Honorable Umi. In both cases, security or infrastructure. If you look at the report, we are saying marginalization is contributing immensely to the question of insecurity. The issue of banditry and the issue of Al-Shabaab and all these other problems we are facing in the arid and semi-arid lands of Kenya is actually directly linked to marginalization. And that you improve infrastructure, irrigation, education, connectivity, communication. When you improve all these things, the level of security improves, because then accessibility enables you to track and respond to any security challenge very fast. We reckon that, the history shows that the road Isiolo to Moyale contributed immensely to a huge drop in terms of crime, because the criminals were taking advantage of the slow road, places to put IEDs and so forth. The road of Isiolo, Modokashe, Wajir, Samatar up to Mandera is believed that it will really change northern Kenya in a big way. And so the same to Garissa Liboi, and the same to the road from Lamu Ijara. If you see that the criminal gangs are targeting those roads, it's because they know, not criminal gangs but terrorists are targeting those roads, is because they know that as soon as the road is done, they will not have the advantage of planting IEDs, and then the vehicles can move at a better speed and the security can respond very fast. In fact, His Excellency the President has been planning to do now, or he's planning to do airports. The airport in Mandera, the one in Elwak, and Garissa was done recently. So in border airports also will help us to respond very fast as a security team. So there is a direct correlation between infrastructure and security improvement, and infrastructure and security response. And I cannot overemphasize that. The National Security Council recognizes that fact. The government of Kenya recognizes that fact. Part of the reason why there is a greater investment, including the planted dams and irrigation projects and education programs in the pastoralist and marginalized areas, is to respond to this issue. And for the Mukokodo forest, already the National Security Council gave a direction on security roads. 1 billion shillings was set aside, provided for in the budget. It's with the Ministry of Roads, and we're working together with the Ministry of Roads to see part of the roads include Mukogodo forest roads, how they can be implemented either by KERA or use KDF to help us, especially in these very difficult places like Mukogodo forest where access is a big issue. And so for the Honourable Member, I will work with the Ministry of Roads to ensure that this is delivered. On the solutions, I think many people are saying that why am I coming here to look like I'm writing another book of lamentations on the question of gangs? I am not lamenting only. I am actually seeking for your support. You see, security operations cannot succeed in an environment where there's resistance by the public and by leadership. When we did the operation that we did in Kitale, you saw one of the leaders coming, to the media and say, oh, youth are being targeted. This government is targeting you. Okay, the same youth attacked young people who are registering voters. So we need public support, because where there is interference, leaders play a significant role, and they are powerful and important. Leaders can mobilize 10,000, 20,000 people. There is no amount of police officers in a rural county that can defend public institutions or individuals against and mobilize 10,000, 20,000 people. So I have said it, and I want to repeat that irresponsible leaders are the greatest threat to national security. That is period. And using such platforms to raise the level of awareness and ask for national consensus conversation. I am happy that now there is a conversation. Everybody is crying about gangs. There was a time it was monopolized by a few leaders. Now it is owned by more leaders, and they are fighting with more leaders. So the whole place is chaotic. And the people who are causing this chaos are those in leadership. This is the right forum for me to raise the awareness. No amount of guns, bullets, tear gas can resolve this problem. Let me tell you, if you, a small county like Busia, not so small, if you are counting the number of police officers in that place, there are very few officers, and they are focused on police station, general duties, administrative work, and so forth. To have even a rapid response unit there, maybe one unit. To have, you can't even have there, you can't say you have enough GSU. So the first point of call when it comes to safety of the people is a society that has a consensus about living together in harmony, a dignified political discourse that focuses on issues, competition that is around issues. I must say that I'm very proud of my county. Not to say this here, but Elgeyo Marakwet is one of the counties that has no single criminal gang, no goons. It is the only county where, I was a senator just the other day, you can give a lift to your opponent. You're going together to a baraza. You talk, and you can even ask your opponent, nisaidia 5,000, kwa sababu wewe you are in office, na unaweza peana 50 kwa harambee, nisaidia 5. People laugh after the campaigns and they go home. But in a number of counties, leaders cannot just come to church. Merely church function is impossible. You go to some church arambe's and you cannot even, someone cannot even be preached. Some characters who are drunk behind there are shouting, 2-term this one, 2-term the other one, 1-term this one, 1-term the other one. It's just unbelievable. So it will, I must emphasize, Chairman, it is not a policing issue. It should not be a gun issue. It should not be an enforcement issue. It's a question of good manners. Yeah, it's an issue of leadership, that the entire leadership must rise in one accord to accept that we need to bring order to our country. And that's why we are raising this issue here. Some leaders, and I agree with Honorable Kaunya, some leaders, their only claim to leadership is actually eliminating his opponents. Making it impossible for any opponent to come in. And they are proudly going around saying this is the deterrent measures are put in place. Nobody can address a meeting in my constituency if he's going to mention my name. So the only way they are in office is because there's no other one. Because he has beaten all the other people, he has harassed them, he sent goons. Those leaders, if today we were successful, and we are attempting, we are working hard to do so, to arrest all his people and take away with the gangs, they will never get a single vote. The only reason why the voter puts their name there is because they either terrorize them or they have eliminated their opponents. This culture must come to an end. Lastly, judiciary. This is, I don't know, I mean, in the first lesson of constitutional law, you will be told in first year that there are things that judges must take judicial notice. You don't need to plead it before a court of law for them to appreciate that the country is suffering because of these acts of goons and gangs. But yet, judges are still releasing these people to the public. They don't care about the bail terms. As long as a number of opposition leaders have appeared before court, it is enough proof to say that rights have been violated and release these people to go. When you're saying we have done nothing, when after the protest of 2025, over 1,000 people were arrested by the by the IG, including those who banned police station in Kikuyu, in Olkalau, in all these other places. What happened? What happened? The courts released them. Of course, leaders made noise. Hey, Watiangu. The courts released them. They went back to their society. They were back the other day. They were in Kikuyu and other places. And this circle will continue if we do not get the support of the judiciary. So no matter, notwithstanding what the DCI and IG here will do, without the conscious support of the judiciary, this country, and we know they banned courts. So there is nobody who is infallible. Now, and on the question of criminal justice system, yes, I've seen that. Interference from Syria Command, it is true. During Jukwaa Usalama, most of the police officers were saying that you carry out serious enforcement, a phone call comes from Nairobi, you are transferred. Okay? You are either transferred or you are warned or you are asked to release people. So the IG is also under pressure from all of us, including yourselves, including all of us, executive, yourself, judiciary, big people, business people, billionaires and so forth, always saying, "Iyo ni mtu yangu, wachilia ule, fanya hii, fanya hiyo." We need to allow the National Police Service to do its work independently. And we agreed that with the IG that whatever, and the IG has said it publicly that he will not interfere with the work that is done by his officers on the ground, except if the complaint is that the officers are corrupt and there is need to remedy the situation because of security concerns. So political interference and other kind of interference also is common, and I cannot deny that sometimes even senior police officers and senior executive members and senior parliamentary leaders occasion this, and it's something that we must deal with continuously. Somebody has asked why attacks are happening on operation. Yes, in Isiolo. I don't need, because you are a local there and I also come from the same region, I don't need to emphasize to you that the problem we are dealing with is not, this is a systemic issue, historical, and embedded in the society for a very long time. In the past, they have seen cases of operations where police come, they fight police, they run away, they fear, or they do this. In some cases where we've been successful, like the areas that I've explained to you, it was also like that. In 2025, by mid-2025, which was last year, in Elgeyo Marakwet, including Marakwet East, where I come from, the police were still attacking people, including they killed a priest when the operation was going on. But the police sustained that operation. Eventually they surrendered, and that's why we collected over 500 guns. So what we should be asking ourselves about the Isiolo and this and Meru and also Samburu side is, and I think you are right on this one, and Honorable Sarah Korere was right, sustained operations. Because if you cut a snake's tail and leave it to wander around, it will attack more people. So I agree with you that the operation should just be sustained until the end. It's also very sad. You saw the pictures of the ones that were got and killed and whatever, and you saw they are very young people, 17, 18, 19. You pity the ignorance that is in there. They feel powerful when they have that gun. Combined with young age, ignorance, uneducation, poverty, bad mentality, those people become emboldened to do things. And then hero worship and being encouraged and being told that you are fighting for your future. So, but if we sustain the operation the way we've done, I have no doubt that we will succeed. Why are we on the question of Changara division? That is an issue that is 20, 30 years old. So it is not going to be solved in just one morning. What we will only have to deal with is leaders using violence to resolve a boundary issue that has been with people for a long period of time. There is no value in that kind of, and I think the message to IG is that we need to make sure that the enforcement is done to avoid any leader using gangs to terrorize citizens. I've answered the roads in Dadaab and all that, marginalization, gangs in Garissa, I agree. This report, Mr. Chair, may need actually to be updated. Even when I was looking at it, a lot of update needs to be done, but also some places where it's called hotspot, really. When you ask a hotspot for what, they tell you for petty thieves and so forth. Maybe we need to just provide Parliament with hotspots of serious crimes. Then the rest of the issues that can be sorted can be dealt with. So I know Madogo in Garissa had also a similar challenge of gangs and so forth. Lastly, Honorable Karoli has asked about these gang members. I don't need to tell you, Karoli, you are not a stranger in Jerusalem. You know Kisumu, you know Nyalenda, you know all those places. You know what has been happening. It's not Kisumu alone, includes your own county. You know the same in Siaya, Migori. If you had come from another country, I would explain to you. You know for sure that Kisumu is a hotspot of gangs and goods. And it's not only you, everybody else here knows, because we have used Kisumu town, that as long as you are passing a particular area and they know certain leader is coming or whatever, you will either have boys asking you for kuchunga hour, or they are targeting you, a particular person, because another one has mobilized as against the other person, and they are not loyal to anybody. They are loyal to the one who pays. Who pays the piper calls the tune. And they are available, not Kisumu alone, all these goons and gangs are available for hire. The man who will take care of them today, will only be doing so because he has the capability and time. When time changes, another one will do it against him. And that's why we're having this conversation that we need to deal with gangs issue. Now, what happened to the Osots issue? The Osots issue was the DCI circulated the pictures. As you said, some of them presented, 3 of them presented themselves. The rest of the 13 or 14 ran out of the country to the neighboring country. So, but the IG and the DCI are on them, working with the authorities in the neighboring country, and we will arrest all of them eventually. As soon as they step in this country, they will all be arrested. And I hope that will be the first example to show that violence doesn't pay. But then, why? The other question, why goons and gangs thrive, is because the line is very thin, very thin. There is a thin line between a criminal and political supporters. And political supporters who are criminals when they are committing crime and when they are just present themselves as supporters. Now tomorrow, including you when you go for the rally on Sunday, can you for sure tell this house that you will not mobilize criminals to accompany you to the rally? You cannot say with certainty because, you can't say with certainty because you are already, even now in your mobilization preparation, now you are saying vijana wetu ya kutoka wapi, vijana kutoka wapi, your supporters some people, you are mobilizing people from Nairobi, you are others mobilizing from Kakamega, others are from Luanda, we know them. But you see, they are citizens of Kenya. Before they commit a crime, you cannot say, I arrest them preemptively. Because sometimes they come empty-handed, reaching there, somebody supplies rungus and so forth. This issue can only be sorted, not by the police, because the numbers you are intending to have in that city are many, and they're also your opponents who are coming there to shout. As you shout one time, another one is shouting one time to you also yourself, or to, you know, two time to another person. Then the police are being expected to stop people from saying two time or one time. It's a very difficult job. This is, in fact, I almost suggested that we might need actually a national convention of leaders sitting down and saying, my brother, let's just agree to do civilized campaign. Let's not incentivize young people for gangs, because until the moment something erupts inside the rally, the police officer will never have known that this is a gang. Sometimes we are accused, and I've seen police being accused that they are working hand in hand with the goons and whatever. Before anything erupts, you'll never know this one is a goon, you know? Okay, look at the case of Nairobi during Maandamano. Watchmen, business people, prepare themselves for the Maandamano. So what do? They put watchmen around their businesses, business shops, and then give them that karungu. Say, okay, you take care of the whatever. On a normal day, a watchman, nobody has a problem with. So when the police are now doing the operation and a watchman is standing on the door, what would the media do? They take pictures and say, you see, those are the goons being protected by the police, working hand in hand with the police. Those are the complications that sometimes never get explained. But I can tell you from the bottom of my heart, from where I stand, I abhor any kind of goons and gangs. And we are trying our best, and I know the heart of the Inspector General of Police, we are trying our best under difficult circumstances with a police force that is also, we have not recruited people in the last many years. We are very excited about this 10,000 recruits recently who are graduating in October, and I mean end of August, September, and we are waiting with bated breath to have them so that they can bolster the numbers, and we should be ready for the elections. I thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you so much. And members, I will ask that we go to the phase 2.
Chair, just a short clarification,
just a minute,
Chair.
Just a minute. It's already midday, and we still have 14 questions that the minister needs response to. So kindly, I will ask, maybe probably we can, the minister is still available. He will still be around if we need. Actually, on the issue of the gang, maybe I don't know whether I need to inform too. I'm aware of a meeting that took place last month with the entire IG and their team, actually discussing and looking into the interventions of mitigating the issue of gangs in the country. I'm sure maybe it's pressure of time or part of your strategy not to disclose that.
Chair, mine is not a statement, no a question.
I know, I want to move to, I will ask you, Balosi, because of the members, I will tell you, because I know what is Kaponde, please.
Chair, just a short clarification. I just wanted to ask Waziri, on the issue of Changara, do you have a formal response to what the Speaker asked you to?
Not yet, Mr. Chairman, because of the complications that come. Because he had said we go and sort it and then report. We haven't reached that stage because of the processes we need to follow. But maybe because maybe we agree that I can give you an updated progress report in a month's time. That should help in the process through the Speaker.
Maybe latest update on what is happening on the streets in the country in regards to the issue of the protest on the fuel?
The country is calm, and Kenyans are going about their business peacefully. Of course, the police officers are on high alert to ensure that there are no criminal activities that take advantage of the statements that have recently been witnessed in the country. And should there be anything that is illegal, we have no issue with any legal demonstrations or picketing and so forth. Our focus is to ensure that law and order is observed, even as people exercise their constitutional rights across the country. So far, the country is calm.
Thank you. Balosi, what is it, please? Because I will really implore that we go to the... It's okay. Thank you so much. Thank you for understanding. Nothing, Kaunya, please. We need to move to the other. So, Waziri, on the issue of the phase 2, I don't know whether we call phase 2 or round 2. We have got 14 questions from majority of members seated in the House. And I don't know, because I think we did agree that we start with the members who had shown up. For those who have not, and the responses are ready, we can also have it, table it on the House, because it's also the property of the House. And I think based on what we have agreed or discussed, we take maybe those members who are here, and those of maybe largely national interest. And I don't know your discretion. I know there is a big issue on the issue from the Professor Guyo Jaldesa on the issue of establishment of multi-agency. Then, of course, there is also an issue on the regarding security in Samburu. I think there are so many in the House, plus their counterparts, the Meru. Then there is also the issue request for statement regarding the status into the murder of Miss Brigidi Njogi, being sought by Honorable Machua Waithaka. And maybe those are to us. Then request for statement regarding abduction of residents. I think this was responded to on Garissa County. And of course, Mombasa Raha and Kakuta, the issue of the Kitengela. Okay, Nyenze, what was yours? Sorry? Motor vehicle, the very, it's a very simple one.
If with your permission, Chair, to save time.
I'm saying it's an easy one. It's a straightforward one. That's what I've said.
Chairman, yes. With your permission, so that we save time, let me run through these questions without reading word by word, because already the statements have been submitted to the members. So I will emphasize the areas of greater concern, starting with the first, which was from statement, abduction of residents Uluho sub-county. Is that by Honorable Humi, I think? So I'll say, I don't want to reproduce the statement, but regarding the whereabouts of Mr. Mohamed Yaro, on 12 February 2026 at about 9:35 hours, Mr. Marian Aden reported that at Ulugo police station that her husband Mohamed Yaro has been missing since 6 February 2026. The matter was booked and a missing person signal was circulated to all police stations across the country. Investigation commenced immediately under inquiry number that of the DCI in Ulugo. However, on 7th March 2026, Mr. Ibrahim Kuso Hassan and Mr. Abdul Shakur Mohammed reported that the missing person has been found, had been found on 2nd March 2026 in Minjila area within Tana River County and had since been returned to his residence in Ulugo Township. Police officer verified his presence at his residence. Arrangements are underway to record his statement once he's medically stable. Mr. Mohammed is therefore not in the custody of any state agency. He is currently in his residence in Ulugo. And instead of repeating the rest of the statements, I think that should settle that matter, that he is found, he is at his residence. Further statements will be now taken to determine why exactly he was found somewhere in Tana River. And I think the honourable member should concede that we should leave it there. The last part of it is safeguards in place to prevent abductions, arbitrary arrest, and forced disappearance. And I think that's an interest of more members, including Professor, because this is the statement now that captures the essence of dealing with this issue of abductions. I just want to say, Chair, in brief, that under this administration, there have been, where cases of abductions have been reported, a number of cases we have established that person was, they were found, in one case there were a mental health issue, another one was a person who had crossed the border for personal reasons to use Somalia. Now in this case somebody was found in Tana River and so forth. So we are happy every time cases are raised like this and the DCI is able to establish the whereabouts of that person. Of course, there are cases where we are still investigating to find out where they are. But there have also been very political cases where people abduct themselves, you know, that the case of a member of parliament, there's a case of a former minister. So these cases are also becoming rampant. There was a case of a young man, and if you want to understand how the judiciary is very unfair to DCI, there was a young man during the protest who was reported by family to have been abducted. And then the judge was so harsh on the part of the DCI. And then that person it was established that he was enjoying his life with his friends. The judge has never apologized to the National Police Service or the DCI. He instead shielded that young man and protected him from accountability. What does that mean? It means that in future, nobody will take seriously cases of abduction, because even where there is real abduction, nobody will take seriously because the judiciary is playing around with serious matter. That young man should have been held into account. The same way with these other politically organized abductions, if we really have to go forward as a nation. However, let me say that, Chair, the following safeguards have been put in place to deal with abductions, arbitrary arrest, and enforced disappearance. One, as per the Constitution, anyone who has been arrested by the police must be produced in court according to the Constitution within 24 hours. We have institutions meant to prevent abuse and accountability. That includes IPOA, Kenya National Commission on Human Rights, the Office of Director of Public Prosecution, Judiciary, among others, that will ensure accountability. We are also bound by international law, including International Covenant on Civil and Political Rights, Convention Against the Torture, African Charter on Human and People's Rights, among others. Police officers are being trained also on these issues, including the current recruits. That suffices for question one. Question two for Honorable Guyo Lubo. No, Honorable. The abduction is for Mr. Guyo Lubo. The Member of Parliament for Isiolo County, has requested to be apprised for abduction of Mr. Guyo Lubo within Isiolo town. And I want to say that Abshiro Guyo Boru reported at Isiolo Police Station on 19 December 2025 that while in the company of victim of Merti near Kina stage in Isiolo town, they were preparing to travel to Ramu in Mandera to purchase goods when a white Toyota Probox motor vehicle bearing KDT registration prefix and carrying 3 occupants approached them. 2 of the occupants alighted, forcibly restrained Mr. Guyo Lubo, bundled him into the vehicle and sped off. The incident occurred very swiftly, preventing the complainant from capturing the full registration details. Members of the public did not intervene due to the speed of which the incident occurred. Investigation commenced immediately. The scene was visited and documented, complaint recorded, his statement recorded statement. Efforts to identify additional witnesses have not yielded results yet. Efforts also to obtain CCTV footage have been unsuccessful. The DCI is investigating 6 mobile numbers, including that of the victim analysis, and preliminary findings indicate that only 2 calls were made after the incident, and analysis of associated contacts is ongoing. Measures being taken to establish the whereabouts of Mr. Lubo. The DCI is investigating and doing forensic analysis, including the call data records. All necessary resources are being deployed to do so. What do we do in such cases to communicate with the family? The government is implementing several measures, including anti-abduction unit to respond swiftly to investigate abduction cases across the country. Members of the public are encouraged also to report to the DCI through Fichua Kwa DCI, and also we need to strengthen community policing for close working relationship. That is the response to the second statement. The third is the statement regarding the rising cases of insecurity in parts of Western Kenya. I think that was asked by Honorable Emase. She's not here and the statement has been provided. Mr. Chair, that should suffice unless the clarification in writing are submitted to us according to your directions. The next one is a statement of the insecurity affecting teacher service in Isiolo Kipsing region by Honorable Mumina Bonaya. Part 1, measures being taken by government to guarantee the safety and security of teachers serving in Isiolo Kipsing region, of course following cases of banditry and the killing of Mr. William Maingi Katobu, who is a 58-year-old deputy principal of Leparua Secondary School. The deceased sustained gunshots, wound to chest, and multiple stab wounds at the rib cage. The body was, and he passed on, and the body was moved to Isiolo Level 4 Hospital. Investigation were commenced. This is a statement that came earlier, so around the time that the incident had just happened. Armed attackers, it was reported that armed attackers emerged from a thicket forest near there, and the deceased was shot. It's also important to note that on the same day there were other related security incidents, including an attack on police vehicle carrying a multi-agency patrol team, which regrettably resulted in the death of an NPR officer. The following measures therefore have been put in place. 1, both foot and mobile patrols have been enhanced along the Isiolo Kipsing corridor and surrounding areas as part of the general operations in the area. Multi-agent security operation under Operation Dumisha Amani are ongoing in the region. Security agencies have strengthened intelligence collection mechanism and improved coordination sharing among the security units, and regular security barazas are being conducted in the area. The status of investigation into the bandit attack targeting teachers. Honorable members, investigation into the murder of William is under active investigation. 4 witnesses have already recorded statement. Preliminary investigation indicated that the incident is linked to general banditry along the Isiolo Kipsing corridor, where armed criminals target motorists. However, no suspect has been arrested and no individual is yet to be conclusively linked to the offense. Immediate long-term interventions, as I said, the mobile foot patrols, stepped-up intelligence, regular public barazas, use of the police operations, recruitment of NPR and working with them. We are in the process of getting additional equipment, including anti-personnel units. Statement regarding security in Kwale County by criminal gangs. Fatuma Masito, I think she's not here, so the statement has been provided, Mr. Chair, and it suffices unless written clarification are sent back to us for further. Honorable Kakuta Mamai has requested to be informed on the status of investigation of the shooting incident that occurred at C&M Lounge in Kitengela. And I'll go straight to the point that the shooting incident was reported at Kitengela Police Station on 25th of January 2026 at approximately 3 a.m. under OB number indicated. An officer from the DCI, Isinya, promptly processed the scene and collected relevant exhibits. Preliminary investigation indicated that the incident allegedly arose from the confrontation between 2 civilians and police officers. The victim, Mr. Kevin Maseri and Mr. Joseph Musondu, sustained gunshot injuries and was rushed to Saitoti Hospital before being referred to Kajiado Level 5 Hospital. Mr. Kevin Maseri was later referred to Metropolitan Hospital, Buruburu, where he was pronounced dead on arrival. Police file was opened, several witnesses identified, interviewed, and their statement recorded, including individuals captured on CCTV footage. 4 police officers who were armed at the time were also interviewed. The officers surrendered their firearms and ammunition, which were forwarded together with spent cartridges recovered from the scene to the DCI National Forensic Laboratory for ballistic analysis. An autopsy conducted on the deceased to confirm the cause of death as gunshot injuries. Upon completion, the investigation officer recommended murder charges in relation to the death of Kevin Maseri and attempted murder charges in relation to the death of Kevin Maseri against the following suspects. 1, I think the murder was not Kevin Maseri, it was the guy who was together, which is Joseph Casio, yeah. The document should reflect as such. Mr. Samuel Bett, Commissioner of Police, DCI Headquarters. Mr. Vincent Kipkorir, Commissioner of Police, the County Criminal Investigation, Narok County. Boniface Ngove Wambua, Chief Inspector, the Sub-County Criminal Investigation Officer, Mariakani Sub-County. Abdullahi Wako Elias Moha, Administration Police Constable, the escort to the Governor of Isiolo County. And Amos Yondu Ngumbi, a civilian firearm holder. The police file was forwarded to the office of the DPP for perusal and legal advice, where it's currently pending. Reasons for the delay in prosecution despite recommendation DCI, as I said, the processes are ongoing within the ODPP, and I'm sure the DPP, after finalizing an analysis, will take the relevant legal action. The following measures have been instituted to ensure impartiality and uphold public confidence. Investigations are subject to oversight by IPOA. Officers facing criminal charges are interdicted and upon conviction are subjected to disciplinary action. Officers implicated in this are excluded from investigation to prevent conflict of interest. All suspects are treated equally under the law without preferential treatment. Investigation files are submitted to ODPP for independent legal review and direction. The National Police Service continues to provide updates to the public within the confines of the law. The rest should follow, I think, as is the statement. The next is statement regarding disappearance of Mr. Shukri Hassan. This is a statement by Mandera West MP. It's not here. Mr. Chair, I will take it that the statement be adopted unless there are written clarification. And then statement regarding circumstances surrounding the burial, multiple identified bodies at Kericho County Cemetery. Who came up with this statement? Beatrice Kemei, she's not here. And I have addressed also this matter, the DCI, myself, also to the general public, but the statement is here. And for public interest, 3 persons were charged in regard to this, and the rest of the processes are ongoing. So the statement be adopted unless Mrs. Kemei, Honorable Kemei, has specific clarification. Statement into the death of Ms. Bridget Njoki Wainaina in response to a question by Mashua Waitaka, who is here, member of Kiambu Town. I'll go straight to part 1 of the statement. Honorable members, at the outset, I wish to extend the Ministry's sincere condolences to the family of the late Bridget. We recognize the profound grief and the loss of life under such distressing circumstances, and I assure this committee that the Ministry is fully committed to ensuring transparent through an expeditious pursuit of justice. Transparent, thorough, and expeditious pursuit of justice. Honorable members, 7th July 2025, a report was filed at Ndumberi Police Station indicating that a juvenile, Ms. Bridget Njoki Wainaina, had sustained gunshot injury from a stray bullet while inside her family residence at Kari Goini in Ndumberi. She was immediately rushed to St. Bridget Hospital, Kiambu, where she succumbed to her injuries while undergoing treatment. Upon receiving the report, officers from Ndumberi Police Station proceeded to the hospital, where they confirmed the minor was sustained a gunshot wound to the head. The scene was processed and documented. The body was moved to the mortuary pending an autopsy. The DCI Kiambu is to open the inquiry file, commence the investigation. Subsequently, IPOA assumed jurisdiction over the case. On July 2025, 9th, a post-mortem examination was conducted at St. Teresa Hospital, Tindikwa. The procedure was witnessed by representatives from the family, police officers, IPOA, and the Kenya National Human Rights Commission, Kenya National Commission on Human Rights, and Vocal Africa. The cause of death was confirmed as traumatic brain injury due to penetration of gunshot wound, and the recovered bullet head was handed over to IPOA as an exhibit. IPOA took over the investigations provided with all the relevant documentation and evidentiary exhibits. The investigation is currently ongoing. The steps being taken to expedite conclusion of for the crime scene investigation team has already completed the necessary processing and document of the scene. Following this, family was granted full clearance to access the premises and restore their home to a habitable condition. Measures put in place by Ministry to strengthen firearm regulation. There is a robust licensing and vetting framework. We have a forensic and technical oversight processes. There's internal national police service controls, which includes centralized firearm register, strict operational issuance, regular armory inspection, disciplinary accountability. Plans put in place by service to provide support to the Wainaina family. While the ministry does not have a statutory mandate or dedicated scheme to directly offer compensation for victims of crime, we fully respect the right of the aggrieved. We encourage the next of kin to seek legal redress through the court of law as provided for under Constitution. But the ministry remains available to facilitate judicial process by ensuring all investigation findings are accessible. Investigative findings are accessible for the interest of justice. There is also an ongoing process for compensation of victims of violence with Kenya National Commission on Human Rights. I think that will help in the process also in this situation. Statement regarding security in Kandui by John Makali, whom I'm not seeing Honorable Makali here. So the statement be adopted as it is. The statement regarding encroachment and attempted establishment of multi-agency security installation within Marsabit County. That is by Honorable Professor Jaldesa. I'll go straight to the answer. A report on the basis under which Wajir County Security Team undertook actions that appear to alter disregard the established administrative boundary. The multi-agency installations located in Tito sublocation, Lokolei South location, Basir Division, in Elders sub-county, Elders constituent Wajir County. The residents of the area are voters in the polling station that is provided for here. Yes, Prof?
Chair.
Yes, Prof. What is it?
I'm getting disturbed because the opening statement by the minister is misleading. And if that was so, I had no business asking that question.
Okay, thank you. Then we can skip that question.
No, you can't skip.
Okay.
We can't skip. But when your office is fed with false information by the people who are being accused, and now they make you...
Can we go through the question first? The answer?
No, but the opening statement...
Chairman, with your indulgence, Professor, let the minister go through his response, and then you are going to ask the question.
I have no interest on this question, so I'll read it as provided.
Maybe for clarity, members, because of pressure of time, what we decided, we let the minister go through all the questions, considering even majority of members are not here. Yeah. Then now we take the remaining few minutes, members who probably not satisfied, who want to have a follow-up, engage the minister.
So yes. I am saying that that one, yes, in Basir ward of Wajir County. The area has been identified as a major conduit for arms, narcotics, and human trafficking, as well as a staging area for OLF. Consequently, following several deliberations by Wajir County Security Intelligence Committee and the Northeastern Regional Security Intelligence Committee, and submission during Jukwaa la Usalama, where I was personally, it was noted that due to the challenges encountered in terms of long distance, rough terrain, armed militia, and compromised community leaders and government officials, there was need for a multi-agency facility at Basir to enhance security coverage. Indeed, during the Jukwaa la Usalama Forum of 24th September 2025 in Wajir County, it was noted that there is need to set up a multi-agency center at Basir to curb arms, narcotics, and human trafficking. Wajir County Security Intelligence Committee deliberated on setting up the multi-agency center at Basir, and various minutes have been provided there. The CSI instructed the Elders Security Committee to identify a suitable site for construction of multi-agency facility. The Elders Committee documented the site initially identified as Malka T2, about 4 kilometers from Wajir Marsabit boundary, drew opposition from the residents of Marsabit, who alleged that the area was within Marsabit County. A joint meeting of the elders and Marsabit County and Sololo security team in Marsabit County was held on 9th of January this year at the SEC boardroom in Basir. Various resolutions were made, and the Sololo team requested for 30 days to enable them to sensitize their community on the multi-agency facility. However, no feedback was received from the Sololo team. On the Wajir County Security Team, hence instructed the Elders Security Team, Sub-County Security Team, to identify an alternative site which is not contested. They identify another site at Malkatito, about 11 kilometers from Wajir-Marsabit border. The County Security Intelligence Committee approached the elders CDF to construction of multi-agency facility, which was approved. Subsequently, the county security team visited Basir on Saturday, 4th April, held a public barasa and launched the construction of the multi-agency facility. During the barasa, elements of resistance emerged, fueled by trafficking syndicates alleging that the area is so identified to the is identified for the construction facility is in Marsabit County. The source of funding for the proposed multi-agency security project, let me just say this, Chair, because I've been handling this issue including today, okay, including yesterday. I have told the long and short, apart from all this statement, the long and short, I've told the regional security team of Northeastern and the regional security team of Upper East, of Eastern, to halt the construction for now and do more barazas. Ordinarily, a multi-agency security issue, it doesn't, okay, for us, it doesn't matter which constituency it is or which county. It doesn't matter. I think the point of contention is that elders CDF is building it. I would be very happy if we can stop Elder CDF and the Sololo one build, because it doesn't matter for us. The problem is that there's a challenge in that corridor of OLF, of trafficking, and all those kind of issues. So I've told the security team to stop the construction for now, go to the site again, do the consultation they do have. If it falls within Marsabit and the area identified is still relevant for security team, then the Marsabit site should help us construct the CDF. Or to avoid even all this issue, maybe Moyale MP should give half of the money, or we give you also something, give you something else to build there. Because, you know, Mr. Chair, we are struggling here trying to persuade members of parliament, national government to build security installations. Whereas there are two constituencies fighting over how to construct the security, whatever. I will assure you that we will manage the security installation. It's not be managed by local community. And it doesn't matter whether it's in Moyale or it is in Elders constituency. Let me proceed so that all the responses will be raised with the others. Statement regarding encouragement and attempted establishment of multi-agency security installation, and I've already, that was the statement, right? The one for elders. Then the next is a statement on insecurity in Samburu.
You go to Samburu.
Yeah.
I know Marsabit is heavily represented here. I know them.
Samburu as well, Mr. Chair, because I'm looking at the time.
Yes.
We will go to 2 o'clock if I don't summarize all of them so that everybody's given yeah.
But I'm asking the Marsabit team, hold your horses.
Okay.
I know, actually, I know. You know, even I personally took personal initiative to even engage Kenan.
Yeah.
And I know the contention where it is.
Yeah.
So just hold your horses. Let's address the Samburu. Then you're not many.
Yeah.
And the Meru team is heavily in the house as well. I'm seeing even Dikiri is there. So just rush through.
Although we don't have Meru statement.
No, they're at conflict. Meru and Samburu.
No, Samburu one came on its own earlier.
You will get to know.
Okay. I don't know. Okay, let me read this. That circumstances surrounding. This is a statement from County Member of Parliament, Honorable Paul Lenguris, and I'll go straight to the answers. The circumstances surrounding the attack in Lorian Village, Samburu County, which led to the murder of Mr. Anthony Lenaper, including the reasons for the failure of police for stall attack. Honorable members, on 13th April 2026, the chief of Murijo area, and I've been to this area, reported Marty of a shooting incident in Lorian. He stated that the unknown armed bandits had attacked Samburu herders alongside National Police Reserve. The raiders had engaged Samburu herders in a fierce shootout and made away to approximately 500 sheep and goats belonging to several families. Regrettably, one Samburu herder, Mr. Anthony Lenaper, sustained a fatal gunshot injuries. The scene was secured and processed, and body was moved to Samburu County Referral Hospital. On 14th April 2026, a postmortem examination established the cause of death as cardiorespiratory arrest due to excessive bleeding resulting from the 2 gunshot wounds. Investigation of the incident commenced immediately, and the DCI Samburu North opened an inquiry file. The matter remains under active investigations. Measures being taken to apprehend the perpetrators. Following the attack, police officer and NPR personnel immediately pursued the attackers, leading to the successful recovery of 150 sheep and goats. Additionally, multi-agency security team have intensified collaboration with local communities and community elders to generate actionable intelligence. These efforts are aimed at identifying and apprehending suspects, as well as facilitating the recovery of remaining stolen livestock. Operations in the affected and surrounding area ongoing. The ministry has undertaken the following immediate interventions: intelligent catering, mobile, Nini, Barasas, the standard issues that I've read earlier. The long-term strategy in place to curb recurring banditry, cattle rustling. We are working on getting additional police officers in that area as soon as the recruited and officers being trained is done. The ministry is planning to recruit and train additional NPR to complement the regular police. We are in the process of acquiring additional anti-armored personnel carriers to help also in accessing that area. And there are efforts to improve the security roads for accessibility. So, Chair, I think that is the
Mombasa Raha, the roadblocks. I think it should be there.
Roadblocks to where? To Lamu or to Mombasa?
Chair. The gazettement of
the Sergeant at Arm was helping me on something.
Chair, please. Okay.
That's all on. Yeah, there was sorting that the Sergeant at Arm was doing on some of them that came later. Now, Honorable Abubakar Talib, has asked a question on the mounting roadblocks across the country. The Honorable Member requested this information, and I want to put this way. Honorable Chair, there are currently no gazetted permanent roadblocks in the country. However, police commanders are authorized to mount roadblocks based on prevailing security needs and operational requirements. The National Police Service have identified specific locations along public roads and major highways where roadblocks may be mounted when necessary as follows. So for Mombasa, you see Busia, Garissa, Wajir, Mandera, all those places. Do I have Mombasa here? No, we have Kwale, in Lungalunga, Lamu, Lamu Central, Lamu West, Tana River, Tana Delta, and so forth. Oh, sorry, number 10 is Mombasa, yes, in Nyali Bridge and Likoni checkpoint area are some of the areas that have been identified. There are also roadblocks that are mounted on an emergency basis during an operation, especially when we are tipped with information that there are trafficking of drugs, persons, or such kind of events happening in any part of Kenya. The justification for this is to maintenance or preservation of law and order, detection and prevention of crime, support of public orders on special security operations, promotion of road safety, prevention of terror, human trafficking, and all forms of transnational organized crime, and so forth. Measures to ensure roadblock operation do not cause traffic congestion. Transition to mobile the measures include transition to mobile patrols, operations with a significant reduction in static roadblocks. Time-restricted inspections, where routine checks are conducted between 9 and 4 p.m. Enhanced command accountability, requiring roadblocks to be mounted only with the express authority of the regional or formation commanders. Increased use of technology, including electronic surveillance, speed cameras, and automated enforcement mechanisms to reduce reliance on physical roadblocks. That one suffices. I don't think there's any other question. Yeah.
Which actually straightforward, one from Kitui West constituency, Mheshimiwa Nyenze.
Which
on the issue
were they supplied to us?
Yeah, I mean, was it not supplied? The issue of the vehicles in the sub-counties.
Let me say this for vehicles, without even reading a statement.
Yes.
Yeah, we have a serious acute shortage of police vehicles across the country, and for the administrators. It is contributed by the leasing vehicle program as is now over 10 years. There is also expansion of police stations and administrative units and so forth, putting more pressure on the National Police Service in terms of vehicles. For far too long now, there have been a procurement process under the Treasury to see if we can supplement by purchasing 3,000 to 5,000 EV vehicles. We are still on it. Hopefully we can crack this issue. It is becoming a very huge impediment on security operation across the country. And we had given ourselves a deadline of last year, but it never materialized because of financial issues, and the initial procurement process became very expensive to finance. Now we are attempting a new model with our objective of getting vehicles within the next 6 months, hopefully. We're trying our best to do so. So apart from Kitui and Kitui West, right? Your constituency, Kitui West, even if I haven't seen the answers there, I must tell you that it's not your constituency alone. The problem is widely, and the IG is reminding me here that 50% of the police stations have no vehicles in the country. 50% is a huge number, and we have had to do with sharing of vehicles among the agencies which are there. Sometimes the OCS has to share with the county police commander or and so forth for the time being. So it is a matter that is on my desk every day, and we are doing everything to make sure that we bridge the gap. Once we do so, it will actually reduce incidents of crime and patrols will improve.
Minister, because I know some members may not have been satisfied and they will need a follow-up.
I have not seen the Meru question though.
Yeah, maybe just for record purposes, it may not have been ready because it took it to the table of this morning.
Yes,
then after learning that you are appearing, I'm helping you.
Yes.
He brought up the question. Maybe we can able to have it passed to him.
Yes.
And probably in the course of the week or whenever it is ready, it's brought to the floor. Yeah, but I can read it for record. I know you want your people to. It was a question regarding Meru Central.
Igembe
this
Central.
Is Igembe Central. And I read, just on the 9th of the 15th, officers believed to be from SOG conducted an operation between Farm and the Kaituni area in Igembe Central, during which they reportedly assaulted innocent residents, leaving 40 people injured and destroying property of unknown value. That is the Boda you did say. It is further reported that more than 10 victims have recorded statement in various police stations. So maybe, I know the response may not be ready, I don't know.
Chairman, I wanted to answer something small.
Okay.
I want to answer something small, Mr. Waziri. I wanted to answer something small on that one. We have a problem with that SOG team. And the whole of Igembe Central, Kiengo Sub-County, we have OCPD and DCI, but we don't have a police station. So we were requesting for upgrading of Kiotene police post and Kiengo police post, so that instead of having SOG there, we can have police stations that can put the roadblock, because the SOG are doing nothing. There is no insecurity, there are no criminal activities going on. They are just beating people for no reason. And we have the records, and they have reported the police stations. We have the OMBs. And to add to that, so I was saying they just invaded the people and beat them without any reason. There were no mandamano, there were no picketing, there was nothing. I don't know the cause and the reason. I even talked to the OSPD and then the CI. They are also confused. They don't know why they did that. It's a serious case. Then I also wanted, I don't know, want only to complain. I also wanted to report to you that rustling cases have gone down since the operation started in Igembe. Congratulations for that. Let the operation continue and we'll have peace. But that one for the two police stations, kindly order for the upgrading so that the security can be improved. And we need the compensation for all those who are injured at the
Okay.
Okay, I'll just say, I think for that one, one is that we need to get a statement so that we can do a comprehensive response. Number two, we cannot say for certain now that this officer were from SOG. It can only be alleged, because I don't know if you have the power to identify which SOG. Yeah. Number three, more importantly, we are very happy because it is the same SOG that are helping us to achieve your last statement, which is that we trying to deal with the cattle rustling issue. So it's a unit of police officers working multi-agency that have given us great success, and we believe this is just the beginning. In terms of the operation, we think that in the next few months we will achieve even greater success if we continue working together to liberate that area of Meru, Isiolo, all the way to Samburu and Laikipia North.
Yes, the Kiengo sub-county has no problem with rustling. So
okay.
They are not necessary.
Chairman.
Okay.
Chairman.
Chair.
All have questions.
She can only now ask the clarification.
Chair, I would like to.
I'm sorry, I was a bit late. I was in another meeting.
If I may
but I want to
just before we on a point of order, am I allowed to raise a point of order?
Yeah.
Mr. Chair, if you may now open for all the statements, then I will respond one round for all of them.
Okay.
So that since we have already adopted Mary's Honorable Emase's statement, now she can raise the clarifications on top of it. Yeah.
That's what I suggest, and maybe we tend to squeeze. We had agreed that by 1:30 we'll leave here.
Chair,
maybe we can. Aduma, please.
Chair,
Aduma.
I also have a point of order.
Chair, I'd like to augment some.
Aduma. You know how we operate.
Thank you, Chair. Chair, I was saying I'm sorry I'm a bit late, but I've quickly looked at the response on my statement, which was about insecurity in Western Kenya, and especially in Teso South, where I had attacks on several businesses and 4 watchmen were killed. But I want to say that the ministry, your ministry officers have done a good job. One of the suspect was arrested, and a very critical one, because that is the one who was showing his co-accused the shops to be attacked, and it could be seen on CCTV. But my biggest problem is, you've addressed this, you've said on the vehicles. 3 of my police stations do not have vehicles. So even when these officers are called, they're working under very difficult conditions. Being able to respond to these emergencies is a big challenge. Probably if you could tell us for how long we need to wait, even if we could get 2 vehicles, in Teso Central and Teso South, even the town station, I was with the OCS who just came the other day. He does not have a vehicle. That would really help us. But security has stabilized, and we are very happy. All the people want to see is that all the 3 who attacked shops and killed innocent watchmen in Teso South, that all of them are arrested. But I just wanted to say you have done a good job, and the people are happy. At least something is being done about the attacks on the people of Teso South. Thank you.
Because of pressure of time, Waziri, I would suggest like this. Of course, seemingly, the very sensitive issue of Marsabit is not satisfactory. Maybe they will do a follow-up. I don't know how, maybe one of them. Then Kakuta, then we have Samburu, then Umi. I think yours was a straightforward. Roadblock seems everybody. So I don't know whether 1 minute each. 1 minute each. And go to the question, not comment, not compliment. And Nakuru County, you didn't ask any question, please. No, we are not adding any question. Please. You are a member of this committee. We can call the minister, or we can call any other day, any other time. Nyense, I think yours was a straightforward.
It's just one point that he said they can actually borrow from OCS, but there is no vehicle even for the DCC, for base commander. There is no vehicle at all. So you can't get any vehicle from the DCC. Yeah. So mine, I think it's a special case.
go to Marsabit, then go to
Nakuru,
Samburu, then you go Kitengela. Kiambu. You didn't have a question. Dikiri. No, but which question? Yeah. Which question? You are a senior member. Sorry?
Order. Kiambu, after that. Chairman Kiambu.
Chair Kiambu. With me. So, Waziri, you know, I know you are used to discretion. The Marsabit, the Samburu,
Kiambu,
the Kitengela,
Kiambu,
the Kiambu. That's what we are not adding any new questions. Please. The roadblock, the issue of these MP colleagues. Yes, okay, Waziri.
Okay, now.
So, no, go on. Marsabit.
Marsabit,
then we go Samburu, then we go Kitengela, then we go Umi, then.
Thank you, Chair.
Okay.
Thank you, Chair. To put the record correct, I have a map of the site on which I want to table and show to the Minister and the Chair that site that is being discussed is well within Marsabit County. And there is no negotiation about it. It is within Marsabit County. And there is no way in which Elders constituency, CDF, will build something in another county, in another constituency, when we know Elders is one of the most underprivileged, least developed constituencies in northern Kenya. Mr. Chairman, the report, I don't know whether I want to disregard the statement which was written and go for the summary given by the Minister, the CS, in that the construction work will stop forthwith and that we shall be able to negotiate with the Minister as to whether, as the Marsabit County team, will be able to do that work, and we shall decide to do it in a place where we think it's appropriate. Chairman, in 2023, May, I requested for a police post in that area. And the reason why that police post was not provided was because there are not enough police officers for deployment. Now, I'm just surprised that when Elders MP wants something, you want to give them a multi-agency, yet when we requested, you are not giving us. So, Waziri, I am glad you said that work should stop and people should vacate, because it's an occupation, it's an act of occupation of another person's territory. And for your information, that area is very, very sensitive. You remember the tribal clashes which we used to have in that area. The last time we had clashes was around 2021. I'm happy that since I came to Parliament, the place has been peaceful. This incident, which may look very small, has actually started peaceful coexistence among the people. And if you're not careful, it will lead to some disruption of peace, it will lead to conflict and bloodshed. It should not be taken lightly. I know the MP that we are accusing was accused by Wajir South, Wajir West, Tarbach, and Wajir North. We need to rein in the members of Parliament who have no respect for rule of order. When the Speaker ordered on Wednesday, that you come here.
Professor, you have made a point.
No.
Because
I want to table this.
Want to write, I know.
I want to table this.
This will be part of the record.
Yeah.
And Waziri, to be honest, I even personally met Kenan, and he admitted what was going on is within Mandera.
Within Marsabit.
Marsabit.
We have agreed that both security teams halt the process, do a local barasa there, agree on the way forward, which is not going to cause us any problem.
Waziri, we have no business to discuss security matters with the Wajir team. We have business
with
to
the
discuss...
team, the security team.
No, the
Professor.
security team, Wajir, you see, like when that statement said that the Sololo people did not report back, the Sololo security team are not they are not answerable to Wajir Security County Committee.
I think the minister is within his power to know how the security matters are managed. So Naomi, 1 minute.
Unlike county government, all national security teams are only answerable to one center. So I understand the struggle to combine both security issues and boundary issues. And because it is we are using CDF to build.
Point of order,
but let us agree from the barazas, we will now have an amicable direction on this issue.
Okay, let's have Naomi to write on.
Yeah,
1 minute.
thank you. Just 1 minute. Thank you very much, Chair.
Get out, please.
Thank you very much, Chair, for allowing me to write on this. Waziri, I want to say thank you for your response. I have gone through the report, but I don't want to refer to this because it is misleading. Your final statement is what is comforting us. You have said that the work should stop, we should consult, and Moyale constituency should take responsibility. We will agree on that, but make sure that that work stops and construction will be done by Marsabit County. That is all the request we have. If that is done, then we will be at peace. But again, the issue of MPs encroaching and making their points right, I think that should not be accepted. Thank you.
So you want to ride? You know this is very sensitive.
Maybe mine, Waziri, is really going to be short. The first one, Basiri is in Moyale constituency on its own. And because of the relationship between the communities, the community in Moyale, they have never raised that issue. And it is likely to crop up if the trend of expansion is going to continue. But for me and those of us from Marsabit, a multi-agency security camp should not be constructed by a CDF because of its nature. It has many reasons. I'm a security person, and I don't really want to talk about it. If it is a police station or a police post, that is well and good. Now, second and finally, Honorable Kainan cannot purport to represent security. He is just any one of us. He's a legislator. Let him ask for a security post and let the security agencies decide whether it is possible or not. But for him to tell his person at the ground, there is a clip that is running around of a contractor saying, this is an order from above and nobody can stop it. It cannot happen in Kenya, really. So for that reason, I want to join my colleagues without really appearing that we are in fight with brothers and sisters from Wajir. Let this thing stop. Let the security agencies and all of us reach an amicable conclusion on how this facility can be constructed eventually. Thank you.
Thank you. Professor, we must move forward.
1 second. Because the
point of order, Chair.
The county commissioner Wajir did not do due diligence.
Yes.
If it is...
The county commissioner Wajir, when he came and did the groundbreaking ceremony in Marsabit County, did not do due diligence. He should be punished. The county commissioner should be punished for interfering with other counties outside his jurisdiction. It cannot be taken lightly. This is also conflict. As the security team leader, he should not have done that. He should have done due diligence to make sure.
You made your point, Professor. Thank you so much. No, Minister, anything, or we go to Samburu?
No, yes. Just to say Samburu. That you know, two things. One, security remains a national function. So without looking at the boundaries, the only point of contention here is because it was being built by elders CDF. Had we on our own established a security, a multi-agency security camp there, it would never have mattered whether it is in Moyale or is in Wajir. So it's a combination of both the security needs of that area and a boundary dispute. And this is not the only place. There are many places, Kitui and Tana River, you know, Kwale. The other day, the MP of Kinango, Konzirai, had an issue with Taita Taveta, like that. So this is not unique to Basir alone. This has been the challenge in various parts of the country. The only difficulty here is that, like for example, the Kitui and Tana River one is also police stations, and about 8 police stations built by county government of Kitui, you know, and then the neighboring county is contesting and causing problems within those police stations. So it's not unique to that place. The thing is, the best thing is to look at a separation of boundary and county power, because even us moving does not answer the question of boundary. That we will leave it to another process. And this whole conundrum is captured in our Jukwaa la Usalama report across the country. That's why I called Mr. Otieno and Mr. Rotich, the RCs, to come together, go to Basir, halt the construction, find ways of consulting with local community, and see how best we are going to achieve the greater security good, because that has become a major route for human trafficking, drugs, and contrabands. And we still have to deal with that problem, and it was really pronounced during our Jukwaa forums in Wajir and Marsabit as well. We have agreed on that. Yeah.
Yes.
It was not satisfactory.
Thank you, Chair. Yes. And thank you, CS, for this wonderful, providing this report. On the issue of Kitengela shooting, Bona CS, I'm not quite satisfied with the report, having that the completed investigation file has been in the ODPP for more than 2 months, and yet no action has been taken in regarding the persons who committed this crime. And it is subject to questioning, especially by my voters, because you know, there was an officer who was working for the DCI, and there are some worries and concerns that the reason this file has not been moved away from the ODPP is simply because this officer might have interfered with moving forward on arresting these individuals simply because he's a police officer and he works for the DCI. What would you say about that? Because my voters are seriously concerned about that.
I think it's very straightforward. The fact that DCI himself investigated and arrested those people and presented a file to DPP is first a plus that there is no interference from the police side. The oversight mechanism of DPP is ongoing. I cannot cast improper motive on the part of DPP because he has an oversight responsibility to analyze the files and analyze the evidence. I am confident that in the fullness of time he will now give a way forward based on the law and evidence. So I think your constitution should be a little bit patient. I don't speak for DPP. DPP is not the Ministry of Interior, but being a part of the law, justice, law and order sector, I have confidence in the ability of the DPP to give a proper way forward soonest. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Samburu and the deceased one. Is it Kiambu?
Yes,
Which one was it?
Yes,
maybe you can rush through. I don't know. Samburu was not satisfactory.
Yes. Thank you, Chair and Waziri. Thank you for the response, though the response is not satisfactory and also not factual. First, the number of animals that were lost during the attack was 700, not 500. And no recovery have been made even up to today. I just called when I'm here, and 0 recovery has been done. So whoever responded to you, Waziri, you need to tell them to give us the correct report. And please put some effort. I'm seeing the ministry recovering animals from other counties through cattle wrestling. But I don't know what happens, because any animal that is lost from Samburu to another county, none of it can see its way back. So kindly, we need to help those people recover the animals, because their families have been left in very desperate position. All the animals have been taken and the herder was killed. Waziri, and then also on the hotspot areas, you know Samburu very well, I'm sure. And you mentioned along Baragoi, Maral, Baragoi, Lorian, and Barsaloi. But there are areas that are always disturbed. Every day, even yesterday, there were shots. Logorate, Longewan, Losuk, Pora, Poro, you know those areas.
Good.
People
Pauline.
are not in peace because
Pauline,
of the disturbance.
You made your
Very
point.
important one, Mr.
So
Waziri.
that you give your colleague 1 minute.
Yes, I will give him.
Yes, yes.
Mr. Waziri, there's an operation going on in Elgeyo Marakwet and Baringo. But the information, I don't know whether you have this information. Many bandits from these areas have migrated to come to Malaso. I'm told there are over 1,000 men with guns who have migrated to come and hide in Malaso. And those are the people who are now coming up to disturb the whole belt. So kindly take up that. I hear Marsabit complaining of the SOG. Please take them to Malaso, because I'm sure they will block those bandits there. I'll ask my colleague to add.
Just
Thank
1
you.
minute, please.
Yeah, thank you, Chair.
Then we go to, yes?
Yes, I would like to augment on the points which are made by the women rep. I am the member of parliament for the area which was affected. I would like to also state that there were actually no recoveries, and in fact there was another incident of theft at Marti where over 100 calves were stolen. It was not part of the question, but I expect that you have that information. Honorable CS, you spoke about sustained operation. In that belt, what we are lacking is actually what you were saying, sustained operation. The SOG you gave, who came there for like 3 or 4 days and then they disappeared. And there was an incident a few months ago where there was an attack on a police escort who were escorting remandees, hardcore criminals, and a policeman was shot, his gun was stolen. Up to now, there's no recovery up to date, and those very, very same bandits are the ones who are harassing these people.
Thank you.
That is the point on sustained.
Then Umi.
Want to share one, just one?
Time is really.
Yes.
You go to the point.
On the issue that you also spoke about on infrastructure, these belts, Honorable CS, are insecurity corridors, specifically because of lack of network coverage. These are dark spots. No information gets out until very, very late. And we know that your ministry can really do something about this. So please, I would like to give this to you as your takeaway from this meeting. Maybe we can have a meeting with you later on. But kindly, the lack of network coverage in Masikita, Nachola, Suyan, parts of Niro, Angatananyeki, these are those areas which are giving us headaches.
At your point. Waithaka?
Thank you, Bwana.
Thank you. Waithaka, then Umi, and Bona.
Thank you, Bwana CS, for coming. And on the question about Bridget, the girl who, 12-year child who was killed by a stray bullet that came into the house, I am not satisfied at all. Bwana CS, I'm not sure that you know the circumstances that led to the death. This kid, 12-year kid, was at home because of the Sabasaba protests, and she was laying on the couch with her mother, and a stray bullet came through the house from the roof, struck her on the head, and she died. Now, the family was told that they could not do anything to fix the house, that they had to wait till the investigations were complete. And the family is traumatized every day, because in the morning they get to see that hole because it's up in the roof. They get to, in the morning, at night, and the family is traumatized. The mother is not been able to sleep in that house, and she's not been able to perform. She's actually a teacher. The husband has developed high blood pressure. And Bwana CS, I'm asking for a human face in this situation. This was an innocent child that had committed no crime, was in the house, and she was killed. So please, do not tell us to go to court, because the parents do not have money to go to court. It's an extra expense. When you tell us to go to the human rights compensation, that takes 8 years. So please, Bona CS, I know there is in the budget you had a compensation budget for victims of wrongful death. So we're asking to fast track the compensation for this family. Although we know that no amount of money can compensate for a human life, but we ask that please, Bona CS, let's have justice for Bridget. Thank you, Bona CS.
Umi, please 1 minute. Bonaya, then Waziri, you take them.
Thank you, Chair.
You are not satisfied also?
Thank you, Chair.
Umi and Bonaya.
Thank you, Chair.
Kiri, maybe you add the Kiri, the Meru issue.
Thank you. Thank you, Chair. Thank you, Waziri. I have heard your response. And those young men were released immediately. Mohamed Yero was released, I think, after a week. Zesamburu, we literally did a police chase with them. We were rushing after them until they dropped them there off. He's now critical and heading to India for treatment. So, Waziri, my question is it the police who are abducting these young men? Who is doing it? Because sometimes we are worried. Are we facing people who are within the police so that we know at least these are the officers on duty, or are these people hiding behind unmarked vehicles? Because that's the crisis that we have. And we still have Abdinasir Khalid Ahmed missing, Abdirazak Yale still missing, and Abdisamad Ahmed Boruka still missing. So that's something we need to know so that it can provide a final solution to this problem. And then finally, on the issue of the border, the roadblocks, Modica has been advertised in Garissa to have a roadblock. The crisis we have today morning is that a young man has been killed by an officer allegedly named Chalo, who was transferred from Garissa station to Balambala station. He shot the young man yesterday, saa 8 usiku. Today, the entire residents are up in arms. As I speak here, my phone is blowing up. I don't know what to tell the people. And this is followed by an incident that happened where Ahmed was also shot last year, December. So if we have this roadblock here, is it providing a security solution to the people in Garissa, or is it killing the young people? Because, for example, Adan is a single child. The mother and the parents are old. Who is going to take care of them? The son is dead, shot simply because he's just trading along that route. So, Waziri, kindly, don't even just give us a solution. A statement. Please come to Garissa. The first point of reconciliation for us as Garissa residents is that Officer Chalo, who is alleged to have dispensed his gun, to be removed from his duty. Okay. Then we proceed and talk of justice.
Thank you. Umi, Bonaya, then the degree right on you.
Thank you, Chair. I have two statements that the Minister responded to.
You are not
Chair,
you're supposed just to follow up on what you responded.
The question for the two follow-up.
Okay.
On the issue of the abduction, Waziri, every time I'm asked to raise a statement in Parliament on a case of abduction, I give up before even doing the statement. It's so frustrating because you do a statement, the response you get is exactly the same to each and every case. Nothing changes, it's the same. And if you look at the case of Lubo specifically, you realize that from the statement by the family members that was made, it is very clear, actually, for even ordinary person to follow up the matter and arrest the culprits. But still, the response that is given to you and you present to us is the one that doesn't give hope. So can we have some, can you serve us some hope where we have cases of abduction? And for my county, I don't know why we have so many cases. From the time I came to this house, I've raised over 20 statements of abduction. And there's no single statement that I've gone back to the people and told them this has been resolved and the person is safely home. There's none. So what are we doing here? The other issue on the teachers serving in the Isiolo Kipsing area and the matter of insecurity where a teacher was killed along that road. Waziri, any attack on teachers in our area in arid areas is costly. Do you know why it is costly? Because the moment one teacher is killed, the rest will move. And the learners are left with no teachers. That is why we can't afford to entertain attack on teachers in this region. So what I'm asking is, because it is along Kipsing Road, and I don't know whether you are aware, we don't have a single police station in Kipsing location. Would you kindly do us one in Kipsing, a police station that can attend to such matters in those areas urgently? And I think I will give opportunity to my neighbor here on the same.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The quoted teacher is to work in Bullet, Ruparua Secondary School, is from my constituency. So I feel the pain of loss of a teacher. We have coexistence with Isiolo for a long time. But this issue of battery attack, it is following a sequence and is following an area. My Gilbert question is this, Mr. Speaker, I hope the chairman is listening, is this: the governor of Samburu, in a public balasa, issued a statement supporting the banditry activities. I'm so happy today the two members of parliament from Samburu are condemning the banditry attacks, but ironically, they are not condemning their governor, who went on publicly to say that bandits can continue terrorizing people internally and externally.
Chairman.
So, Mr. Speaker.
Point of order, Mr. Speaker. Point of order.
Chairman.
Mr. Speaker, Mr. Chairman.
Point of order, Mr. Speaker.
I am on a point of order, please. The governor of Samburu is not before the committee. Please ask the minister on the issue of insecurity about Meru, Isiolo, or whether it is emanating from Samburu. That is why he is here.
Mr. Speaker, I stand guided, but the fact remains that the governor issued the statement, and it is one of the statements that is encouraging banditry attacks.
Point of order, Mr. Chairman.
I raised my case.
The member is still
taken.
insisting on mentioning the governor who is not in this room.
Chairman, it has become too much, because even in the floor of the House, these members, instead of addressing the issue of insecurity, which is affecting the whole of this country, it's not only Samburu. There are bandits in Meru. There are bandits in Isiolo. There are bandits in all over the country. It's not only Samburu. Even the governor of Samburu did not say that it's encouraging banditry. It is not every Samburu that's a bandit. But we are running for the bandits. The government can go and arrest the bandits, but you cannot condemn the whole community. We are not bandits.
No, you've made your point.
Chairman.
Thank you. Please, I don't want us to extend from there. The minister is here. So that
Mr. Chairman, I did not say Samburu.
The transporter. No, please.
I only said the governor.
Sir, drop it at that. Our Mushima, the roadblocks.
Yeah, thank you very much.
And just to the point.
Yeah, I think you should give me time. I've been here for the last 3.5 hours.
It's the first guy to come to the House.
And I think I deserve to be heard. Waziri, thank you. My question is Section 69A, Act Cap 403, says that it's the Inspector General of Police who has the powers to gazette all these roadblocks. You've mentioned that the regional commanders, the county commanders have the powers now to do that. That's the reason now we are having roadblocks all over. From Mombasa, you'll have about 12 of them. And that is why I'm picking a reason of an example of Mombasa or Nairobi, Garissa, where these ungazetted roadblocks are all over the place. I would kindly ask you, when you have time, I'll take you in my car, or you take your car, we go visit these areas, and you'll see it for your own eyes. So I'm kindly requesting you to tell the Inspector General to withdraw these ungazetted roadblocks. Thank you.
I think the IG, and that's the basis of the response, that gazetted roadblocks, yes, as per the law. Yes. But also beside that, the security teams have the powers to put roadblocks for emergency security operations, for traffic issues. It cannot wait for IG For example, a roadblock can be mounted outside this door. If we know that there is outside this road here, if we know that there's a goon in this building who wants to escape using a car. No, I'm just saying that roadblocks are not...
These are mounted roadblocks on a daily basis.
That's what I'm saying.
It doesn't matter that there's a goon or not.
Yeah.
But on the highways, it's on a daily basis, day and night.
No, what we don't want, what you are speaking about is the static, permanent roadblock that is in a particular position without the gazettement of the IG. And we are saying, and I agree with you, that the IG should then review where really we need gazetted roadblocks, and then the rest will just be emergency in case of operations and so forth. And I agree with you on that one. That's where I was coming to. On the question of, I agree also that the request by Honorable Mumina and Rindikiri on the question of security in KIPCHUMBA. We will assess the police station issue. We will work with the local security team to present the necessary proposal, having gone through the necessary security assessment. On the statements of abductions, we cannot really say someone has been abducted. Yeah, you cannot for sure say he has been abducted. You can only say they're missing. And the files of missing persons across the country are many. And eventually, you know, have you had a case of a man who re-emerged after 45 years? On a serious note, there are people who are missing, but not necessarily because of abduction or there are some people who are missing because they just have mental health challenges, like the cases that I submitted in Parliament the other day of a man who used to work with Huduma Center, and he was an Angao officer. Finally, he was found alive because he had challenges of mental health. There are cases also of self-abduction, as I said earlier, where all these investigations have been done and find real abductions. And I was in Isiolo when some family, confronted me about their missing, maybe it's in the same case, about their missing next of kin. Family member. So I sympathize with real cases of people who have been abducted, and it's our responsibility, as written in the statement, that we need to upscale our operations to ensure that we protect citizens from genuine abductions by criminals. On the question of Honorable Ndikiri, maybe he would have framed this question that, that we just leaders, either from Meru, Samburu, Isiolo, or whatever, we must, all of us, support security operations and avoid any incitements that may become a block. The rest is left to the police to do investigations as to who does what. I take up the challenge by Honorable Umi to visit the area and listen to his issues, some of which were raised in my last visit, but I have no problem coming again to Garissa to also assess security issues in the area and support the security team by making sure that they make the necessary decision and support them policy-wise, whether resource-wise or gazetting a particular person, legislative-wise, to support that area. On the question of the little girl of Kiambu Town, Honorable Mashua, I think it's important for you to know that what it means when we say IPOA is investigating is so that it removes the police, the IG, and the DCI here from that investigation, because police were suspected to have caused the death of that little girl, which is very regrettable, as I have indicated in my statement. So I think IPOA is struggling also with a number of investigations because of budgetary allocation. Parliament should look at ways of ensuring that IPOA is given better budgetary allocation so that they can complete these cases expeditiously. On the question of compensation, I told you, unless someone goes to court for compensation, and we have those cases of compensation being brought to us, there is no policy framework for compensation. However, you remember under the broad-based arrangement, there was a 10-point agenda where compensation was one of them. And as a result of that agenda, 2 billion shillings was set aside in the supplementary budget and submitted to the Kenya National Commission, Kenya National Commission on Human Rights. That's what I was trying to tell you, that now that is the body that's going to carry out the 2 billion compensation for victims of violence, protests, and so forth. And we believe that that should happen in the shortest time. I'm sure His Excellency the President will be giving directions to the nation as to you know, the extent of the work that has been done by Kenya National Human Rights Commission. I'm aware of what's going on, and the budget has been provided using the supplementary. So we should, baby Bridget should be families, that family should be part of those who are going to benefit from the compensation. On the issue of vehicles, for Honorable Nyense and Honorable Emase, we agreed that vehicles is a challenge, but even then I've told the IG, I was whispering to the IG here, that he may have to do also some rationalization, so that at least every corner gets at least one, even that to be shared among the security teams as we continue with the procurement process. On the question of numbers, failure to recover livestock, and hotspots in Samburu, including Malazo Valley, network coverage. I thought the Member of Parliament of Samburu North, my friend, Letipila, should have also thanked me first to say, okay.
I say thank you,
yeah.
Honorable CS,
yeah.
for the giving the great people of Arsim a listening ear, and the network of Arsim, and you are most welcome to come and visit Arsim.
No, so even Arsim was part of the areas that were not covered. Safaricom is willing to work with government to improve also the other areas, and like you mentioned, and we have sat with you, it is also important to expand that to those other areas that you have captured to whatever, to deal with the issue of a network so that it can assist us in operation. The last thing I'd like to say is that I agree with all of you who have said that the report does not properly capture hotspot areas, and it needs to be properly updated. The entire Samburu is almost an hotspot area. So you maybe the IGs should have written hotspot areas, Samburu, Turkana, but you know there's danger with that. It can easily negatively profile an entire county from investors and investments. So that's why it's important to go to those particular corners. Samburu is a victim, but also aggressors are inside, especially Samburu East. But if you come to West, North, you have more victims as you progress.
I would also like to appreciate. You know, it's also good to say thank you. Because the insecurity in Baragoi, ever since we got into this past 3 years, it has really come down. Yeah. And in as much as we would like it to be perfect and better, where we have done progress, we must also appreciate the government for the good job that it has done.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. This is the longest I've been here. Asante sana.
Do this, as the Vice make a comment and we close. I think you need to note on what Mumina said about the very many abduction in Isiolo. It was really a very passionate plea. So
sorry for that. Isiolo, you know, has become a route because of the challenges we have. That's why we are even supporting the setup of security installation in the border of Wajir and Moyale, and because that route has become the route for illicit drugs. I mean drugs and illicit alcohol, trafficking on persons, guns, bullets, and so forth. So as a result, sort of Isiolo becomes the melting point. So sometimes when you want to accuse the police of abductions, you never know these highly trained criminal characters, what they are capable of doing. But all of it will be investigated. I do not want to exonerate anybody, whether the police or the criminals. And that's why you see the continuous operation in that area. And we will continue staying at it until we salvage Isiolo. That was the chair mentioned the unpleasant experience for the Speaker of the National Assembly. And remember when the President was there as well, young people shouting there, intoxicated and so forth. Yeah, well, people. I'm not saying that the police took them. I'm saying I'm saying
being
those
abducted by policemen. I know. Yes.
No, now you will help us by recording.
Yes, they are
a
the ones doing it. You know them.
Not that I know of. I just need to say that I don't know any police officers, Mheshimiwa. What I was trying to say is that because of that route being for serious criminals, you never know some of the criminals who may be the ones who are abducting others. And so the investigation will be done. And if it's a police officer, I will not block them from facing justice. And we need the support of the community to record statements on the same. Asanteni sana.
Maybe a comment with us?
Thank you very much, Chairman. Waziri, thank you very much for your responses. I think as a committee or as people's representatives, we don't take it for granted what you do and the men and women in uniform. Only 3 issues, and I don't expect an answer. First is the issue of gangs, goons, that is inundating urban areas and peri-urban. I think going forward, we need to look at policing. Policing is dynamic, whether we need special police units to handle those cases. Secondly is the issue of cattle rustling, and also insecurity, particularly in the assaults. Big footprint operation may not be necessary, but surgical, targeted, intelligence-led operation will really save the government a lot of money. Thirdly is to Road 2027. In your response, you mentioned politician, politics, everything around politics. I think the solution for the country and also a good response to the committee by yourself and your team is how we are preparing for election 2027. Finally, the issue raised by my group from Marsabit. There's no conflict between Wajir and Marsabit people. I think let no legislator or legislators cause our people to fight for something that can be stopped and resolved. Thank you very much.
Waziri, just a closing remarks. Of course, the issue of the gangs and these criminal gangs has been there before. You remember the old Chongororo, the Mungiki. Your predecessors before handled them heads on. We all remember how Mishuki, really crashed and broke, all this. You're up to the task. You have to save this country. If we go toward 2027 under this situation, I'm worried it may not be looking very good. And the only time to redeem and save this is now. So thank you so much. We don't want to keep you for long. We have really done it. And the meeting is adjourned until communicated further. Thank you so much.